I think it is.
Oh no, Neil's film. Neil's film's on the monitor.
It is indeed.
How come?
I brought that from, well, that.
God knows, 500. There's my voice.
Yeah.
500 music videos, 15 feature films, 20 TV shows, and he's really 102 years old.
Yes.
But he's had so much extensive facial surgery that he looks 40. It's fantastic. So fantastic for 120.
And you've taken some
darling.
time out. You've worked with this wonderful lady as well.
I mean, really, that's a career for someone who's 85 years old in America. That's an extraordinary feat. You should really be up here.
I started young.
You started young?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Like minus 42 or something.
21 when I started.
21?
In Australia.
But how did you do all of that between 21 and
102.
Come up on stage.
I edited their recording audio, so that.
I'll come up on stage. No, but you're very much invited. Here, grab a chair. Go in the middle. There you go, so I can see both of you. So Neil Johnson, everybody.
Neil. There we go.
Neil Johnson, he's one of the guests at Sci-Fi Wales, and we've known each other for 1,000 years.
18 years, actually.
Something like that.
Right, so you've known each other for 1,000 years.
Yes.
How did you first meet? How did you meet this gentleman?
Well, through Chase, has anyone heard of Chase Masterson?
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Rob? Deep Space Nine, a fantastic actress in America, and most beloved by the fans. And she's very much like me in that she loves to, genuinely really loves to chitter-chatter at her signing table, and is really super friendly and really wants you to have a nice experience at a table. She's not like one of those grumpy actors that's like this, and you come to their table and they go, yes, what do you want? And you go, oh, can I have that? Yeah. Next! And you think, oh no, what a horrible person, And she's a bit like me, she's very, very chatty. Anyway, so I was at a convention. Do you mind if I...
Go for it, though.
So I was at a... and so forth. So we shot a lot of the on top of the tanker scenes first, and one of which was me
That
dying.
scene right there. Yeah.
That scene right there. So what happened was we used to, this was before digital movies, which I don't know if you've got a panel today, do you? Oh, what a shame. Because Neil could talk about digital filmmaking versus film. And anyway, so we shot on film, and it meant that we had something called rushes, and we'd all congregate at the local theatre to watch the rushes. And the rushes are what's the footage from the day or from that week. And so you just watch them raw, unedited. And George Miller came up to me afterwards and went, oh, I really wish that we hadn't killed your character off, because you've got this thing. He said, I don't know how to explain it. It's like this it factor. There's this thing about you that you only see on the screen and through the camera. And he said, when there's that scene with you and Mel, and I'm listening thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Because I'd never acted before. There's that scene with you and Mel. There's these moments where we could really have built something. I thought, great, now you're telling me. I'm dead already, and now you're telling me that you really wished you hadn't killed me. Fantastic. And then came the next Mad Max, which was Mad Max 3, and then came Mad Max 4, and I'm dead. And if I had lived, I could have been in 3 and 4. What a shame.
But I can tell you what that is, actually. There's again, we were talking about last night, there's an honesty in a person. When you're on camera especially when you're in close-up. You can't lie. You have to be so honest. If you are being dishonest in your mind, if you're not feeling the real emotion, the camera can see it, and that's why.
Sensitive too.
Yeah, you've got to be in touch with it. And Virginia just has that natural talent that the camera's on. She's relaxed. She can be herself and be real. I mean, that scene at the end of, and when she died in Mad Max. I mean, from an outsider's perspective, it's like, oh my God, I feel for her. I can feel her loss and
I don't
pain.
think I did that, because I remember looking at that back and thinking, oh my God, it looks so fake. But
No, but it was beautiful because it was poetic. It was like you could see, oh wow, my life has begun. I'm doing it all. I'm here, and it's gone, and my life is gone now. And you know, I mean, I got goosebumps talking about it. You see, there's something about what you put out on camera that the audience will just resonate with, and that's her talent. That's the talent you have.
And George was saying if it was something that we could manufacture, we would, but it's not, and it only comes every now and again. And what a lovely thing to say. I had no idea what he was talking about, but now I kind of get a sense of it because I've seen it myself in other people. You know, anyway, Stuart, you were going to ask lots of questions.
I was going to ask if it's my job to get you talking, and it's brilliant. I'm sitting watching a very beautiful conversation. No, stay anyway.
You can stay, it's fine. Well, you're a filmmaker. Oh my goodness, it's very highly
You've worked with
respected.
each other, so
And we've worked with each other.
I want to listen.
Yes, he's
yeah, you
listening.
do both.
Ask
So
him.
going back to, The Road Warrior was your first film. What was the thing that you learned the most from that first role that you then took on to do other roles? Was it something like, now I've got it, and that helped you progress?
To trust my instinct. Because I kept on asking the director, George Miller. I had done television commercials before then, probably about 57 of them. And I didn't understand that was acting, that I'd done in the commercials. Because a lot of them were just, you know, at the time I was very young, you know, pretty girl brushing her hair or something. But then the more I did, the more complicated the commercials became. And then I realized that I was actually acting in the television commercials, but I realized later. I didn't know at the time. So I didn't know that I could act at all. And when I took Mad Max, I was terrified. I loved the sound of the character, and I was terrified of the acting process. And I kept on asking George Miller, the director, was that okay? Did you want me to do something else? Because I wanted his guidance. And he, at the time, he was one of those directors that didn't give you any guidance at all. He was a great action director. And I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not, but he wouldn't give me any guidance. He would just think, no, what you're doing is fine. And maybe it was, but I think he wanted me. He's very clever. He was a doctor before he was a director. And he was new to directing. He'd only done a couple of films, a couple of short films. So I guess he was finding his way as well. But I think he was smart enough to see that I was nervous, and there was anguish there, and I was a bit scared, and not knowing what to do as a person. And that's all perfect for that character.
It is, yeah, it fits into the world of Mad
Yeah.
Max, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
everybody
So what I was doing, being nervous, asking him, what do I do now? You know, that sort of anticipation and that, you know, heart beating but trying to be strong. All of that, you know, really worked for the character. So he just wanted me to use it all, but didn't want to say to me, I want you to use all of that, because as soon as he had said that, I would have thought, oh, nervous, he wants me to be nervous. All right, well, I'll be nervous. And that's not what he
That's not
wouldn't
the
have
honesty
wanted-
that Neil was talking about.
Yeah, it
Was
had
he
to
got to actually
be
be
not
nervous?
think nervous, be nervous. So approach it from that way, not from that way. So after I thought about the whole thing, I realized that, oh, okay, it's about feeling and it's about instinct. So that's what I learned. And I didn't really properly, in my opinion, learn how to act until Farscape, which was in the late 90s.
Do you find it's the Farscape that you're known for most? You know, when people come up
Depends
to
what
meet you, is
country.
it Mad Max or is it...
Depends what country. Yeah. The photos that I have on my signing table are an indication of what's popular or what I'm known for in this country. And that's James Bond, Mad Max, Farscape, Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Yes, Rick and Morty. Did you not know? Yeah.
And I think that's about it. But in Australia, I'd have different photos out.
Which ones would you have out in Australia, for example?
Oh, in Australia, I would definitely include some of the old stuff, which was Neighbours and E Street and Vietnam with Nicole Kidman and Castaway with
Oliver
Nicholas
Reed,
Rogue's
isn't it?
Castaway. Brilliant director. Actually, Nicholas Rogue, I don't know if you know him. I mean, anyone who loves art film would know Nicholas Rogue. He's done so many incredible features, and he was married to, who's he married to? He's married to an incredible actress who's won so many awards.
Neil,
Nicholas Rogue, who's got Google? Who's got their phone?
I think who's got Wi-Fi signals?
Google,
probably.
who's got a Wi-Fi
I couldn't get any
signal?
signal in here before.
No, but the Wi-Fi is Camry or something.
Oh, the venue's good for you.
Yeah, the venue is. very
My researcher
Talk amongst
will look
yourself.
into this.
Talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, just a funny thing on the side. Nicholas Rogue, at the audition, I couldn't understand what he was saying. Honestly, I couldn't understand a word. Because he has that, you know when you watch BBC politicians, BBC Parliament, I think it's called, on late at night, boring, unless you're really into politics, but, you know, and want to watch. No, it must be First Wife. Catherine.
Susan Stephen.
No, Nicholas Rogue, R-O-E-G,
R-E-G.
First Wife. Oh, she might have been second wife, who knows. Anyway, when you watch the politicians, the House of Lords, some of the, you know, the older chaps are kind of portly with, you know, fat cheeks, and when they talk, they go, what? And you think, what did he just say?
Teresa Russell.
Teresa Russell.
Oh, yeah.
That's her, Teresa Russell.
Good news, mate.
Incredible, amazing actress. And he's a bit like that, you know, it's not portly, but he has he's part of the gentry, you know, and he talks to it, terribly, Virginia, will you draw to our little girl, okay?
No, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, what was that again? All right. Okay, so literally, and I just laughed all the way through the audition. And I think I must have been cheeky, because I can sometimes be naturally cheeky. It comes from my mother. She was very mischievous and very posh lady, but had a twinkle. You know, you meet people who are terribly, terribly posh and very elegant and, you know, beautiful, but they're really twinkly, sparkly, and naughty. You know, and she had a wonderful sense of humour. She was very, very silly and naughty. So I inherited some of that from her. And so I was just winding him up, I think. I can't remember what I was saying. But he liked me because I was cheeky. He said, I'm giving her the role because she talked back to me and I like it. You know?
What did Nick just say?
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Yeah, so I just thought, oh, okay. And so it was hilarious through the script. And I think nobody could really, I'm sorry, Nicholas, if any of your relatives are watching right now, with great respect, brilliant director. But we couldn't understand you, darling. So in the end, the script was thrown out and everyone just sort of made it up. So that was kind of funny. Anyway, that was Castaway.
So Neil and I were chatting downstairs about filming locations. So let's go back to the Road Warrior a little bit.
Yeah.
What were your memories of the, you know, because it was quite a hefty climate, vicious, hot.
No, cold.
No, really?
It was shot in the desert. In
It was in Broken Hill, wasn't it?
in Broken Hill, which is North Victoria, South New South Wales. In winter, and everyone thinks the whole of Australia is boiling hot all the time, but actually it's not. And it's like America, but upside down. In America, you've got the boiling hot states down the bottom, Florida and all the New Orleans and that whole belt there. Up the top, Canada, towards Canada, it's cooler. Now in Australia, it's the opposite. So down the bottom of Australia, it's cold. The top of Australia, it's tropical, boiling hot. Where Neil, close to where Neil comes from, is tropical and beautiful. You know, real Sunshine Coast, it's called. But where we shot was in winter, down south. It was bloody freezing! And we were all scantily clad, and I was supposed to have bare legs, and I think I had bare arms, so I was supposed to be barer than I was. Not ridiculously so, because she's a warrior. It was too cold, and they had to put. It was the same with everybody. You know, anyone who had scantily, anyone who had bare legs had to, you know, had more clothes put on them. Except for Wes, who played the chief baddie, who had his bottom bed, and of course we had to have the bottom bed, but the bottom was blue from cold. So the makeup artist had to keep, you know, painting this hairy boy bum, you know. Probably not the most savoury job for a makeup artist.
And he's very much a man's man, isn't he?
He's a real blokey bloke, so there'd be no trimming going on, if you know what I mean, with Stuart's face like...
Can you imagine what you've been doing at work today?
But they do, the poor makeup artists have to do terrible things like that. They have to, honestly, the places where they haven't been, don't exist.
No.
But really, they've been everywhere on everyone's body, practically. But you just like going to the dentist, you just have to, you know, grin and bear it. So Vernon Wells had his bottom cheeks, his whole bottom touched up every day, throughout the day. And believe me, he's not the kind of guy that you want to stick a makeup brush up his, you know, nether regions. He would sooner cut your hand off, you know. He's a real tough bloke, so it was, you know, quite hilarious.
So with the makeup on Road Warrior, that may not have taken as long as it did on Farscape. What was the makeup process for
Well,
that?
the makeup, I
Took
had
a
no
while.
makeup. I was very young and I was a model at the time, so I had flawless skin, not like now with the, you know, age spots. Oh, getting old.
We'll cover you up, dear.
Yes,
It's
thank
okay.
you very
It's
much.
okay.
Yes.
He's 102, so...
I know
just-
he's 102, he's
fine.
doing well, he's doing well. But at the time, you know, I don't mean to make you all sick, but, you know, when you're a young model and you know, you have to...
She doesn't mention she was the #1 model in Australia, like the #1 for a few years running. So, you know, it's quite a big thing and very, very well internationally recognised
Thank you very much.
in Milan.
He's my fan club, leader of my fan club.
She'd never admit to this, but actually it was
No.
true because I was there and she
Yeah.
really was. You know,
Well,
she was the it girl. Many,
It
many
girl.
years. Still is.
sort of. Not.
At least in Wales.
Thank you.
At least in Wales.
Least in
Aw.
Wales. Oh, bless.
Yay, Wales!
Oh, bless. Yay, Wales. So no makeup. I didn't need it really at the time. I was pretty young and fabulous. But what they did do was, so no lipstick, no eye makeup, nothing, except some dirt. But it wasn't Hollywood dirt, because when you see Hollywood dirt, it's really stupid, because they put the dirt there, you know, to sculpt the cheek, or it might be on the side of the nose or something. Now this was literally, you know, like a bucket of dirt chucked at you. So it was very realistic. So I had dirt and tire smoke, dust chucked at me, as you do, you know, and I had dirt put in my hair, because my hair is quite fine, and had red dirt put in it, and they used to crimp it. So that was the only indication of the 80s. But they also crimped it to make it look more, you know, like messy. And eyebrows. They said that she, even though she was a warrior, and she wasn't into the finery, the more feminine, what do you say, how do you say it, the little touches that females enjoy, looking pretty and things. There was still something in her genes. So she had war paint on. She had 2 markings, which were war paint, instinctively, the warrior war paint. But they were also made into eyebrows, I suppose, a little tiny bit of her feminine side, you know, just creeping out a tad. So she had that. And she had a scar on her face. The makeup artist said, your face is too modelling. It's too modelly, so we have to just dirty it up a bit. We're not going to put makeup on you because that would be ridiculous. We're just going to throw dirt at you, literally, and because it had to be that way, and a scar. I can't remember what side the scar was on. I think it was on this side. And they made it with, well, it was fake scar, whatever that's made of, and it sort of shrinks the skin a little bit. So a lot of people actually thought I had a scar.
It's like wax. It's a wax.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of
little pasty stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and they shave my eyebrows. They shave them from, and they've never really grown back. I have to draw in my eyebrows. But yeah, they shaved 3/4 of the eyebrows, and funnily enough, the same makeup artist many years later did my face in Farscape. And she was to shave everything off your face. So she had a go. This time she got her way and shaved all of my eyebrows off for the lovely Zan, which you see there. So she shaved off my eyebrows completely. She wanted to cut off my eyelashes, and I said, no, that's going a little bit too far, because I don't know if they'll ever grow back, and I will have a life and a career after Farscape, but she didn't care. She said, okay, well, if you won't let us cut them off, then what we want to do is bleach them white. I said, no, you're not bleaching my eyelashes white, because I don't want bleach near my eye in case it gets in. And then she said,
rightly so, too.
and rightly so. And then she said, okay, all right, well, what we want to do is dye the inside of your mouth navy blue. I said, really? You want to dye the inside of my mouth navy blue? And that's the part of your body that absorbs everything instantly straight into your bloodstream. So that's why watch what you eat, everybody. You know, put good food into your body. But anyway, that's a little aside. So navy blue, in order to get rid of the pink colour of, you know, being a human, she wanted to make it completely navy blue, which would mean that they'd have to keep applying it. Which would mean, guess what? The inside of my mouth would be permanent. It would be dyed pretty much navy blue. I said, so what happens after Farscape when I have the whole of my inside mouth navy blue? That's not our problem.
Wow, it's like it is good.
Really? Oh, thanks. Thanks for that. I know, just unbelievable. So I just said, no, I don't think so. Because I really will have a life after, unless you kill me, unless the job kills me. But navy blue, I just thought that was just amazing. They wanted to dye. Can you imagine? Dyeing your mouth. The inside.
Blueberries.
Hmm?
Eat a load of blueberries, wouldn't that have the same effect?
No, because that would that wouldn't be permanent, and it would still show.
Reapplying it, you had blueberries.
No, you would have to eat. You would have to swill your mouth with so many blueberries that eventually the blueberry dye would die, because it dyes cloth.
Oh, right.
So it would eventually die. Yeah, but it would have to be, if you eat a blueberry, yeah, maybe momentarily your tongue is a little bit blue, but in order to dye the whole inside of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, between every take you'd have to keep eating, and then you
I
just
mean,
feel
it would
sick.
be crazy. It would be impossible, basically. So anyway.
Has anybody got any questions for Virginia? We could happily keep coming up with more, but if anybody's got some, by all means,
Do take advantage, because there may not be
take
another
advantage.
time where I'm sitting in front of you. You may think, oh God, I should have asked her.
This is why I'm loving it, because it was 3 years ago, wasn't it, you were here?
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to have a nice lengthy catch up with you, so I'm loving the fact that I'm able to do it now.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the fact you've
And we
joined
must
us.
apologise for putting the panel at opening time, you know, and thank you very much for actually coming up here and taking the time away from the floor, because at opening usually people want to go around downstairs. If we had the panel later, it would be we'd have a lot more people. But
This is intimate.
I was a last minute guest, so I'm very lucky actually to have an opportunity.
And also the panel will be available on From Page to Screen podcast.
Ah.
Yeah, we'll now, yes, because
I thought I
Oh, and listen, while we're here, especially Page to Screen, hello everybody watching. I just want to, my dear friend, Neil, has just completed a film, so your film is available, or it will be available?
Oh no, it is.
It is available. What's it called?
Rogue Warrior, starring Tracy Birdsall. It's not available yet in the UK. We sold that 3 times at Walmart. It's a proper sci-fi film with a great warrior woman type person, inspired by Miss Virginia, of course.
Oh yes, yeah.
We have a few Blu-rays downstairs if anyone needs them, but it's been turned into a television series now, so it's a thing.
So it is available in the UK. Downstairs.
Just downstairs. Any 10
Downstairs.
Any-
I'm going to get one. I'm having one. It's a good film. Said it
Bit of-
once, but I
bit
want
of-
to on the Blu-ray.
Promotion.
So, out of all the films, all the TV shows you've done, which ones do you think people don't talk about enough? So we know about Farscape
Right.
and Road Warrior, Living Daylights. Which one do you think, do you know what, people need to check that one out a bit more, because it's amazing. Which ones?
I wish I could remember the name of it now. Blood and, what was it called? It was, Janet Street Porter was the producer, And I did it in England, many, many years ago, in the 80s. And look it up online, Blood and something. What's it called? And it was, she was doing Studio One, do you know what, isn't that terrible, I can't remember the name of the TV show, but she had a TV show that she produced. It was really super hip and cool. And they decided to make a little mini drama, kind of like Dallas and Dynasty. But they wanted to make, it was really an ingenious idea, they wanted to make it really, really short. Pardon me, so it was the length of a few television commercials, probably about 10 minutes long, and they wanted to feature fashion in it. And so they introduced all of the latest fashion houses, I mean amazing couture fashion, as well as other fashion. Not so much high street, but really couture. So it was like this Dynasty Dallas fashion show drama, but it was hilarious and it was really funny. It was crazy, and I played this character called, it's not called Blood and Tears, Blood and Sweat, Blood and something. I played this character who was a drunk, and she was the co-owner of a cosmetic company, and her name was Chablis.
Also an obsession, wasn't it?
No. It's called Blood and, is that my IMDb page?
Trying to find it,
IMDb. Flesh and Blood! Did you look?
Flesh and Blood?
Flesh and
You
Blood.
mean that Flesh and Blood? Oh, no, of course.
No.
There's another
Flesh and Blood. Did you look it up?
Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Flesh and Blood. The Janet Street Porter fashion show. And it was just magical. I really loved that character, and it was the only role that I ever played which was comedy, 100% comedy. And I really enjoyed it, and I wish, because you were saying, is there one role that you wish that people would talk about more? Yeah, that one. Because it was a comedy role, it was damn good. But I should try and get a copy of it somehow, and play it at conventions, because people would love it. And also, who was in it? We had Diane, all these really famous actors, and the guy, Tex Montgomery, who's the lead baddie in it, is the English chap who was in the last Jungle Down Under, what's it called? That
Celebrity.
Anton Deck. Celebrity.
Yeah, Celebrity Jungle.
Celebrity.
Jungle.
I don't watch it.
Yeah, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He was in the last one. So you've got the Google page, Flesh and Blood. Have a look at the cast. Is it Diane Quick? God, I should know I was in it, but it was so long ago and I haven't thought about it for years. You're editing this, aren't you? So you can edit out the...
Yes. I'll edit out the...
You were born in Coogee,
I was, yeah.
in New South Wales.
Any luck? Flesh and Blood? Go on my IMDb page. Are you on my IMDb? Look for Flesh and Blood.
Time Slip.
Oh, Time Slip. Yeah, it's another one that I should be reading.
Norman Loves Rose, you're in that as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's being distracted. Bless your heart. Where is it? Is it here? Oh, Network 7. Oh, it's called Network 7. That's right. I forgot about that. Network 7. And it says one episode, but it wasn't one episode. It was more than that. But they just don't have... Oh, here we go. Larry Lamb.
Oh, yeah. Larry
Was
Lamb.
in it?
Oh, that's a big fan of Larry Lamb.
And Diana Quick. Kim Wilde. Oh, God, I don't remember Kim
Wilde,
Wilde.
That's the 80s pop star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe maybe it was before she was a pop star. Oh my God, what character did she play?
Yeah, because Kim was, 81 onwards?
Okay.
Pop star years.
Diana Quick. Kim Wilde herself, interviewee. But anyway, a lot of amazing people in there. It wasn't on IMDb at all. And I actually contacted IMDb. No, I contacted Janet Street Porter via the internet. She didn't respond to me. And I just said, would you mind listing Network 7 on IMDb? Because it was such a great show. And I played Chablis. I'm so proud of it. And I also contacted the director who didn't answer me, unfortunately. But they did put it on IMDb, so Flesh and
So it is
Blood.
on there.
A comedy.
So check out Flesh and Blood, get more comedy.
Absolutely brilliant show. It was very camp. very kitsch, and we all looked amazing because it was all couture gowns. So, yeah, it was fabulous.
I'd like to ask a question about the Living Daylights. Because it was a different time for James Bond. You know, it was almost a transitional time before, you know, between. It was Timothy Dalton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How was the vibe on set? Like, you know, what was the feeling and stuff when you were shooting that?
Well, I think there's a lot of responsibility on any actor who's playing Bond because you're carrying the weight of the brand on your shoulders. And I'm surprised that they're not a nervous wreck. But they're going to choose people who can handle the stress, obviously, because it's one of the biggest, the most famous brands in the world. So Timothy is very sensitive. Oh, he's such a beautiful man. Very, very sensitive and elegant and thoughtful and kind. You know, so wherever he was a lovely, friendly, gentle set. Really lovely man. And he made sure that he took every single person out to dinner. And he couldn't take everyone individually because it would take him years. So he took, you know, groups of people out. That was his, he just wanted to thank every single solitary person. And he chose to have all of the Bond girls all out at one dinner, which was hilarious because there was about 10 of us. Oh, we were wicked.
Would you love to be on that table?
Yeah, I'm sure I can't remember what restaurant we're at that people would put their eyes would hang out because if you're chosen to be a Bond girl, back in the old days, these days it's different. They're more muscly and gritty, you know, fighters. Whereas back in the day, a Bond girl was traditionally quite a, you know, a very good-looking specimen of the female race. Gorgeous, actually, back in the day. So you had 10 gorgeous women, and Timothy. He was blushing every 5 seconds. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. We were piling it on him. We were flirting because we loved it. You know, when you're a young woman, you know the power that you have over men. So we were, but when you're very young, you know, you grow out of that silliness after a while. But we were really teasing him. I can't remember what we were doing, nothing untoward, but we just knew how to tease him and make him feel really uncomfortable. And it was horrible, it was very uncomfortable for him, but also really nice, and I think he really, really loved it. But we were teasing him the whole time, really making fun of him and teasing him. And he's not used to that because he's a very accomplished Shakespearean actor who's very proper and used to being treated very respectfully. And we were really sending him up, roughly, you know, like, he was very delightfully sort of taking it, but oh, poor guy, it was probably one of the most harrowing nights for him, kind of like being on Loose Woman, I think, for any man. But he was really lovely, really sweet, and we all tried to then kiss him, and which, because
All at once.
all at once, yeah, well, pretty much. And all diving all over him. Oh, we were behaving dreadfully.
Can you imagine being the waiter? It's like, when goes home and said, well, James Bond came in tonight, and 10 of the women from the film, and they're all kissing him all at the same time.
Yeah, well, not, it wasn't, yeah, we were, it's like playfully kissing him, yeah. But we were climbing all over him and just being really but you know, being silly, playful. It's nothing dirty or untoward. It was all very, very playful. And funny. Yeah, so he was a lovely man, very nice.
Still one of my favourite Bonds.
Yeah.
Yes. But you are downstairs for the remainder of the day,
Yes.
aren't you? So people can
Thank you
wander
very
over,
much.
and you've got an amazing film career, so if we've missed some films and TV shows, perfect chance to quiz.
And thank you for taking the time to come up here and see me.
Neil's down there too.
And Neil's down there too?
Yes.
Good buddy of mine?
Yes, we wave at each other all the time.
And you're not having my DVD because it's mine, I'm keeping it. It's traveled all the way down from near Manchester, so I'm keeping it.
Bye everybody, thank you very
But no,
much.
thank you very much, Virginia. Always a pleasure to chat.
Oh,
Thank you, Neil.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later, alligator. Thanks, Neil.
That's fine.
Thanks for coming up to the panel.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you're most welcome. Should we go now?
Thank you very much, Virginia. I shall chat to you. I'll chat to you later on.
Fantastic to see you. All right.
If this is like a Pink Floyd concert, we did one from behind a wall or something. We could do that. Please welcome Mr. Murray McArthur on stage. This chair out the way. Grab yourself a microphone.
Hello, London. How are you?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, all right. This is like the second time in a month I think we've met.
It is indeed. We did Manchester Comic Con
We did.
a month ago.
It is pretty much. Time flies. Was that your first panel that you've done then?
It's the first panel, and this is the first Comic Con I've ever done as myself signing. I mean, that was the first one I'd ever been to, actually, Manchester.
Wow. Yeah.
But that was to promote
Of Gods and Warriors. Yeah.
Gods and Warriors.
So that's the first one you'd been to, his first panel. How did you find the panel? What was it like being on stage? And
It's great, although I did, my father brought me up because I was staying with them down in the West Country, and he did say that I wasn't mic'd up properly, you couldn't hear me, so can you hear me, London? No.
Yes.
Excellent, okay, well, I won't make the same mistake twice.
I could,
So
hear,
that was-
I,
that
could,
was
I could
first-
hear you in Manchester, to be honest. I was way at the back filming.
Oh, well,
I
he
could
couldn't,
hear
and he's
you.
a bit deaf, he's about nearly 80, so.
He didn't wander off going, you know what, I don't want to listen to him.
No, he's probably heard his son too many times waffle on anyway. Yeah. No, it was very good and enjoyable, and that's why I've come back to another one. I enjoyed it. It's good.
Nice, it's good to have you back.
I've never been to London, and it's a lovely place. I went for a walk last night, and it's amazing. I had no idea this place existed.
What have you seen so far?
Well, I went on the pier. I'd say that compares better. It's better than Brighton Pier or all the other ones I've been on. It's a much nicer older pier. The buildings along the seafront here are an amazing nick. It looks very smart. And, looks like a really nice town.
It's like some Comic Cons you go to generally are smack in the middle of a city. You know, be it Manchester or London, and you look around, there's tower blocks and stuff everywhere. So it's quite nice when you can just go out of this venue and you've got the ocean there.
Yeah. And the hotel has put us up at a sea view, so woke up this morning to the shushing of the waves.
Nice.
Yeah.
Relaxing. So predominantly we're here to talk about Game of Thrones, but we are going to cover a few bits and pieces because Murray has got a pretty impressive filmography. If anybody does have any questions, please stick your hand up. I think we'll probably try, have we got another microphone that we can get, that way I'm not running up and down. With that, I'll ask Murray a question, run down, grab the microphone and then come back up. But, so Game of Thrones, you know, one thing that always fascinates me about, I think it applies to mainly two shows, one of them's Walking Dead, one of them's Game of Thrones, is when you go for the audition process, will they say, right, we want you for 3 episodes? Or do they say, we want you to do this role? Because, I mean, obviously with Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, you don't know how long people are going to last.
Yeah. No, they normally keep it very secret what you're going up for. And normally for nearly all, I'll tell you the process I went through, because I can't guarantee it's the same for everyone. But generally the auditions are held in dingy basements in Soho. They're not very glamorous. It was about the 3rd time I'd auditioned for Game of Thrones before I got what was an unnamed part, which then in another season became a named part and was more featured. So you don't really know. You also have to sign things called NDAs, non-disclosure agreements nowadays. I auditioned, I probably can tell you it now, but I auditioned for the Maleficent 2, as it would be called, a couple of months ago. Before I even got into the audition, I had to sign several legal documents swearing I wouldn't mention this to anyone, even for the casting. And quite often you don't know what you're reading for. If it's not something that's pre-written, you've no idea what you're auditioning for. But nevertheless, you will still have to learn quite often 3 pages of dialogue, and that's quite tricky when you don't really know much about the character or anything. You have to guess it all from the dialogue you're auditioning with. And so the process for me was dingy basement. It's either Nina Gold or Robert Stern you meet for Game of Thrones. For the 3rd time round, I auditioned for Robert Stern, and has played a wildling elder, as he was called then, and they were described in the character description as a group of, they look much older than their years because it's harsh up north, which meant that the rougher you looked, the more likely to get a role. So there you go. No one would believe I was 25, would they? But
That'd be quite nice. You could walk in and go, I spent hours getting ready, and then you go, brilliant, you're perfect, and oh, come on.
I have to say, I think it's the beard more than anything. I mean, I kind of grew the beard for this part. My agent looks after three other actors, Kieran Hines, who played Mace Mance Raider, Indira Varma and Dame Diana Rigg. So he already had an in with them, so I knew roughly what they were going to be expecting. And I think the reason it swung it, you can tell I've got a nice RP voice, but about the third time I worked out that they wanted a northern accent. So if you ever see the clip that I do, I'm doing a broad North Yorkshire accent, which they do give you training on as well, actually. You have a voice coach when you're doing it who will make sure that you're doing it, and that's all because of Sean Bean. You're just doing Sean Bean voice, really. But that's how the audition process went. So I then got that, filmed that. That was a smallish part in episode 5, and then they rewrote me in, and the character name, they said, again, I had to get all kinds of security things on my phone, because any scripts that are sent to you can't be hacked by someone. You've got to get double security. My phone actually wasn't sophisticated enough for their security measures, so I had to go buy myself a new phone. And then eventually they said this character from now on should be called Dim Dalber, which I thought sounded like an awful name. And it proved to be more awful later on. But if you Google Dim Dalber, it'll bring up my name now, but it also brings up a Twitter handle of an American TV writer.
Okay.
And I think it's a joke. I think the TV writers who wrote it, it's a joke about their friend's Twitter handle. But Dim Dalber, on the inside of my glove, the scene I did season 6 is with Kit Harington, Jon Snow, and we were laughing about the name. He didn't think it was a good name either. I turned over my glove, and they misspelled Dim Dalber as Dim Dabbler, which I thought sounded even worse. So forever known as Dim Dabbler, you know. But yeah, so the audition process, and then you get to hear that you're doing it. You're obviously delighted. Do you want to know where it's all filmed? And
Yes, please. I want to know what it was like being in these lovely warm temperatures, which it wasn't.
Well, nearly everything I do, if you have a beard and long hair and look like me, you're always up at a mountainside with it pissing down with rain. You're never in the sunny, warm climes of Seville or Croatia where they do all the other stuff in Game of Thrones. And the scenes, both times, the same scenes were filmed in a really wet, muddy quarry just up north of Belfast. So you stay in a very nice hotel, the Hotel Europa, which my parents, when I told them that, were horrified. And when I got there, I realised why. It's the most bombed hotel in Europe, the Hotel Europa. And they've got pictures of every time the hotel was bombed, this is all in Belfast, all down the stairwell. It's a kind of source of pride. You go up in 1960, 73, bombed. 1983.
It's like the worst TripAdvisor rating thing I've ever seen.
It's like a on a tourist map now. So you stay in a nice hotel and you get ferried up, but then you spend 2 to 3 weeks up to your knees in mud, sitting in a tent with big names like I was working with Liam Cunningham, Christopher Hibbs, who plays Tormund, Kit Harington, and Sophie Turner, Sansa Stark. So all very nice, and we just have actors chats, and we all moan about actory things like how little work you're getting. At least they're getting plenty of work.
Now, I did hear a story from somebody, I know quite a few people who have appeared in Game of Thrones over the years, and a guy called Chris was in it for a couple of episodes, and he was saying that when a lot of the smaller parts weren't shooting, they were all like put in a cave. Go stay in a cave, and people walkie-talkie, because making sure they didn't run off and like, where's he gone? Where's he gone?
Yeah.
Is that potentially true? Or,
I
don't mean like locked in a cave. So
every time you were not doing your scene, you were in the tent.
Yes.
It's more a case of, when you're filming, it costs so much money, and it's not you that's costing the money, it's the other 50 people behind cameras, and whenever you're doing a take, nearly always when it doesn't work, it's not your performance wasn't any good, it's the fact that the sound wasn't working, or the lighting wasn't right, or something, and then they have to do it all again. So you can't be, up the road, talking to the birds or something when they're ready to go. You have to be on and ready to go. But that can mean, I do know, in the season 6, I was also supposed to be in the next episode, the Battle of the Bastards, the big battle. Yeah. And I think my character was being set up rather than the guy who plays Tormund, who I look like an older version of. I think rather than him dying in that episode, the Battle of the Bastards, I think I was supposed to. But they moved the whole lot forward. Again, it's nothing to do with the actors, it's all to do with who's available to film it. 3 months forward. And I was in Bulgaria filming something else, so I couldn't do it. And I thought, oh, I've lost the job. I'm not going to be in Game of Thrones now. But they said, no, we want you to do all the speaking stuff. That'll be filmed back in November when it's supposed to be. All the fighting we've done now. Don't worry, you won't be there. So the good thing is my character didn't get killed off. But I did hear that it was pretty awful filming because the Battle of the Bastards took, it was supposed to be done in a week. It took 4 weeks. I know in particular Liam Cunningham, who plays Davos, got very frustrated. He was dragged up there every morning at 6 o'clock, sat in his coal tent in the mud and didn't get used. And at one point he sort of decided he was going to go back to the hotel and you can call me there, I'll be ready when you want from there. So it's not really that glamorous. Everyone says that, but it's a lot better than doing some other jobs, which I have done as well.
So what's the sort of, you've done some other jobs, what's the worst one you've done? What springs to mind?
I've done when I was a college student, my job was clearing up the loot. I used to go to Loughborough University, and the sportsmen wear purple, so they drank a thing called a purple nasty, which is a snake bite with blackcurrant.
Okay.
But most of it would end up in puke all over the floor in the loos. And my job was at the end of the night to go with one of those rakes and push that all into a little slump and get rid of it. So that's probably one of my worst ones, but I've done some pretty bad ones over the years.
What's, other than acting, of course, what's your favourite one that was non-acting?
Non-acting jobs. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I can't remember. I've worked as security in places, and that's been fun. Oh, that's right. The Chippendales. You know the Chippendales?
Yeah.
The Chippendales came to London. A friend of mine works in the Strand Theatre. She said, "You're a big lad. Do you want to come and would you mind being on the doors because we need to look after the ladies and get a bit rowdy?" And it's good fun, but I have to say, they do get a bit rowdy. It was a bit of an out.
There was a need for security then.
Yeah. Well, didn't have to get to, but I did spend an awful lot of time having to talk to very tearful ladies who were. One in particular was very upset that Freddie Mercury had died. I think they used some of his songs in there. I just remember having to spend most of my evening talking to a very tearful Freddie Mercury fan. That sounds like it's a bad thing, but it was actually quite enjoyable.
That's pretty neat.
Anyway, back to Game of Thrones.
So, slightly off Game of Thrones, you encountered a gentleman called David Hughes.
Yeah.
The DVD is sitting on your desk downstairs of Gods and Warriors,
Yeah.
which a few of us saw at a screening, and we've talked about a little bit. So what is the Warriors about? Don't say it about Gods and Warriors.
No, well, its original name was Viking Destiny, and that's probably more accurate. It's a Viking film, a genre film, so it's largely the central character played by Anna Dimitriou is, I won't spoil the story, but it's David L.G. Hughes, his full name, lives in Sweden with his Swedish wife. He's got a young daughter, and he said he was fed up with watching Disney films with his daughter. He wanted Disney films with a bit more action. So he wanted to create a female character with more about her, and so he does. She's the lead character, and there is a tradition in Viking culture of the shield maiden, women who fought, went into battle. And actually, as we were doing it, The Guardian had a big article about they'd found a ceremonial burial ground, and it was for a woman, for a shield maiden. And so she, through the devious dealings of her uncle, doesn't realise she's the son of the king, and is thrown out of the kingdom and then has to fight her way back in and lead her people, the Viking people. While this is all going on, her character and other characters are being manipulated by the gods. The Norse believe strongly in that the whole world was determined by the gods. And in that one I play Loki, who's the god of mischief. And my counterpart, far more famous counterpart, would be Terence Stamp, who plays Odin. And really it's a sort of battle of wills between us that's going on behind the scenes as Anna's character, Hela, fights her way through. And so it's a very exciting film. And it was an independent film, which is very difficult to finance these days. Nowadays, the film industry is either big blockbusters, they fill up all the studios, the Pinewoods, the Sheppertons. So it's very difficult for people to get independent films made these days. There's so many obstacles. So I'm a great admirer of David for being able to do that. A lot of it was Swedish money, so we had a lot of Swedish backers, so it felt like a proper Viking film. And we had a few Viking experts. There's one guy called Martin, who David met when he was researching the film, who does Viking reenactments. So like we have people doing the Roundheads and the Cavaliers, they have Vikings, so they live in the woods, and they build their own Viking longships, and they eat like Vikings did, and they hunt like Vikings did, and he came fully clothed in proper sort of medieval Viking kit. But so, you know, it's well researched, and I think it's a very good film. It's a good job.
Some of it was actually filmed around this area as well, because somebody mentioned to me, it might have been Rob that mentioned it to me.
Snowdonia.
So I messaged, someone was filming England, didn't he? No. So I messaged David and said, is it true that some of it was filmed? And he went, yeah, and he told me which bit. Obviously I don't want to tell you which bit because it might ruin part of the film, but some of it was filmed locally to here, so, which is pretty cool.
It was mainly filmed with money from Northern Ireland Film Trust, in the same places they film Game of Thrones. So we go to the dark hedges, you know, places like that. They're actually places that exist around where we were filming. But the bits shot in Llandudno and Snowdonia were where she has her wilderness years. The main character, Hela, is lost in the wilderness. She's been thrown out of the community, and she wanders across Snowdonia. And at the time, I'm trying to think what time of the year it was cold. And she was wearing, she was having to wear sort of lightish leather stuff, but it was freezing, wouldn't have liked to have done it herself. And there's one scene when she's in a very cold lake that we shot near Pinewood actually as well. This was shot after the main bit of filming. And she had to get in the water.
Freezing.
Yeah, freezing. Yeah. It's very brave.
And we do have a clip. We've got two clips. I don't know which one's going to come up. So if you can play a clip, and then I'll work out which one it is. And it's either a trailer or a clip with Murray in it. One of the two. I think it's a trailer.
You dream of all you will do when you achieve true power. But that dream is a nightmare. Because to achieve power, you have already done all that which you dreamed of. So what is left but emptiness? What else did you expect? A little more. Is it more you crave? Or is it her? You know she is out there. And you know that you will never be truly powerful until she is in Valhalla.
So yeah, that is, you pop up at various points throughout the movie causing mischief, because you're not a nasty god, are you?
No, he's not
mischievous.
The Vikings don't think of him as evil, they think of him as mischievous. I don't know how I differentiate between the two, but he's mischievous, so he's always, I think of him as a bored teenager, really. His dad, Odin, won't let him play, and so he makes,
Causes trouble.
Yeah.
A 13-year-old god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in a
So
75-year-old body.
So can we play the trailer, which will give more relevance to the clip you've just seen? Very much. I never tire of watching that trailer on a big screen. So has anybody got some questions? Any Game of Thrones questions, or Gods and Warriors questions, or questions about?
I've done Doctor Who.
He's done Doctor Who. He's done Doctor Who. Outlander. You've done that as well.
Yeah,
Your
Outlander.
filmography's huge.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
I don't bite.
No. Sometimes it's.
Any of you want to go into acting? Any of you young people want to try out acting?
No.
Something I always say, because these... Oh yes, you've got... Great. Okay, well, I really think this is so much easier than it was when I started out. I said this at the last Manchester Comic Con. I'm actually from Devon. I grew up in a tiny village in the middle of nowhere, and I've still managed to eke out a living as an actor. And I think if that's your dream and you want to do it, now more than ever you can do it. And the way to do it is just get out with your friends Get yourself, you can do it on your phone, you know, if your phone's half decent, or just borrow or hire a small camera and write your own storylines and either act out films you like or write your own stories and just put them on YouTube. And you'll find that that's a really good way of learning the process. You learn what works, you learn if you want to do the acting, how that works, but if you want to do directing, also how to structure scenes and so on. That is really the best way of doing it. And you don't have to go to film school, you don't have to go to drama school, you can do that, you can do it from here. And you've got some amazing scenery. The mountain bits you were in that clip, that's Snowdonia. Just go out and film stuff. And you'll find that, that you can use that as a ticket if you do want to go to film school, then you've got something to show them. But equally, you'll learn on the job. In this game, you learn on the job. It's great to go to drama school if you can afford it. I know a lot of people can't, it's a long way away. But there's so much you can do in your bedroom.
And another example as well, this wonderful lady there who stood up. Hi Annette,
Hello.
how you doing? We went on holiday to Malta, I think last year, wasn't it? And we were doing that horrible thing on holiday where you check out your hotel room at 11 o'clock in the morning, but you don't get on the bus to go back to the airport till 7 o'clock at night. So you sit around doing nothing. Annette and I talked. She came up with the idea of a story, which Murray's just said. Write a story down, so I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And then when we got back, we decided we were going to make, as you've just said, let's try and make a film. And then today, from Neil Johnson, filmmaker downstairs, he's actually delivered me a camera, which I've saved up lots of money and bought it from him. And we are going to shoot our first film in a couple of months. I've never been to film school, but I learned from people like Murray, from people that make films, from talking to everybody. Just go out there and just make it. Enjoy it. That's the main thing. Enjoy making your films. There's never been a better time to do it than now. So, good luck. What type of films would you like to make? Action films. So big explosions and gunfights and whatnot. Well, there is a lady downstairs called Zara, who's one of the guests. Go over and ask her, just say, how did you get into action films? Because she's going to be on stage here later on. I've been following her career for about 5-6 years. She started off in a lot of independent films. And most recently she was in Doctor Strange, the big Marvel movie, and she is a great action star. So it'd be worth going downstairs and just tell Zara I said hi, and just ask her some questions. But good luck. I hope to see you on the stage in however many years talking about
your first film.
Exactly. If you need this guy, give him a shout. No, good luck. Bob?
Have you got a dream role that you'd love to do that you haven't done yet?
I'd like to do more theatre again. Years ago, when I was starting out, I worked at the National Theatre down in London, just in small roles in bigger productions, and I think I'd like to play a lead back in the theatre again. But they're very different things. Filming, television and theatre are very different skills, but not skills, but different things. They're different methods of doing things. And I do prefer the filming. It's much more exciting. Also, once you've done it, it's there preserved. So I'd like to do a lead role in a film, but I'm not specific about it. There's no one part I'd like to play. But more films. But as I said, it's getting increasingly hard. You're either in an independent film, where the budgets tend to be quite small, or you're in a blockbuster, and unless you're Benedict or something like that, you're unlikely to get offered that. That's more to do with your reputation, how you get, whether you get cast in those kind of things.
And this was predicted. I know somebody predicted it maybe 5-10 years ago. They said this is what's going to happen. You're going to end up with films that cost a couple of $1 million, or films that cost 100 or 200. The middle films will disappear, and it was right. A lot of them are.
I auditioned. This isn't a big secret. I didn't have to sign a non-disclosure agreement for it, but we did several read-throughs of. There's someone who has written an autobiographical film. A biographical film of Robbie Burns, a Scottish family. So we've done several read-throughs for the director Vadim Jean for Lionsgate, and they did what's the big musical that won the Oscars?
Showman, Great Showman.
No,
La La Land.
La La Land. They produced that. So we did it around a big table, and the producers were there, all the actors, Bill Patterson, very well-known Scottish actors, all doing the stuff. And we did it 3 times, and then the last one, I came back into the room, because I left my coat in there. And there was a big argument going on between the producers at Lionsgate and the people who've written the film, and they wanted to televise it. They didn't want them to do a film, and they were more or less saying, there's no money in small films anymore, there isn't, and we'll put it on television. And I spoke to the producer in the pub afterwards, who was a bit disheartened because they weren't going to get the money, quite obviously. And he was saying, you know, Netflix and Amazon, again, another prediction. What they do is they start producing stuff, people start watching it, and they take the market. And what happens is they gradually just nip away you know, what they're paying, and gradually cut it down. So I think the best thing is to get around that is make your own stuff, do it yourself, and then bypass all of that. So, yeah, I didn't really answer your question, did you? I don't have a particular
I think it was
I just rambled on about something else. Thanks for the question.
Just sort of following on from what you were saying about the role of Netflix and other subscription services, how do you see them possibly changing the audience?
Well, it might be quite good for these smaller films, actually, because they end up being shown on the cable and subscription. This one will very quickly, I should think, will end up on. In actual fact, it's getting a full cinema release in America. They took it to Cannes. That's an interesting story as well. Do you know the story behind how they got financing? Again, someone with setting up a film. The director, David L.G. Hughes, got his financing by going to Cannes without a film. He had a film idea, and he got some friends together, Scandinavians, Swedish, got them dressed up in Viking stuff, and did a couple of films, something they could show. You know, this is what our film idea is, here's a scene. They took it to Cannes, he met a producer, he said, well, I can get you money for this. And they liked the idea and ran with it. And that company's called, eventually they sold it, again, when they went back with Cannes with the film finished, to Sabine, which are big distributors, and they bought the latest Keira Knightley film, the Nicolas Cage film, and Al Pacino film. So 4 films, one of them's ours. So that'll get a cinema release in America in October as Viking Destiny, not as Gods and Warriors. And that's huge. In this country it had a limited cinema release, but almost immediately it's available through Amazon and subscription things. And I think that's actually quite a good, that's one positive thing I think will come out of it, is that independent films, the lower budget, Netflix and these other companies are going to be crying out for things like that they can buy relatively cheaply and make a profit from. So I think it's good and bad. I think it's quite a good thing for filmmaking, independent films, but not necessarily for actors' wages.
No. Any further questions? Oh, okay. So you've got some of these of Gods and Warriors DVDs downstairs.
I have,
I believe. What else is on your desk?
Well, I've got a picture. There's one up there. That's Outlander. I saw many of those. So if you'd like an Outlander, I can probably do a special deal. I don't look very well in that. I actually die shortly afterwards.
Oh, spoiler.
And I've got a nice one from Game of Thrones. There we go, Game of Thrones. I don't know if the other one's going to come up. I've got one of Doctor Who, because the part I played in Doctor Who is there's an episode with Maisie Williams in it about a Viking village. And I played Haston, who's the Viking. I think, are there any Doctor Who fans out there?
I'm pretty sure there's a few.
Well, okay, well, I didn't realise this at the time. I didn't know it was significant, but I broke his Sonic sunglasses. And on Twitter it went wild, because apparently everyone hated the Sonic sunglasses. So the picture is of me breaking his glasses. So you're welcome to come down and have that as well. But I also have got copies of the DVD, and also a poster. Do anyone recognise Will Mellor from, was it? White Van Man and Packet of Crisps.
He was also in Broadchurch and everything, wasn't he?
Broadchurch.
Nice guy as well.
But he's in that. But in the poster, which I've got a copy of downstairs, I've got Terence Stamp, who has always been an idol of mine anyway, very famous actor. I'm not sure all of you will know who Terence Stamp is, but some of you may. But anyway, he's at the top of the poster, and then it looks like he's got 2 pairs of earrings. One is me playing Loki, and the other one is Will Mellor. So you can have a look at that later downstairs as well. But do come and say hello, because it's my first one. I've not done one of these, so I don't quite know how they work.
I think it worked perfectly though. I think. Are you enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah, no, it's great. And I was really surprised about that, didn't I? I grew up near the sea, and so I love being by the sea, and this is amazing up here. Yeah.
It's a place to come when there isn't a convention on as well.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 teenage daughters, and I think it's a nice place to come on holiday anyway. I think.
Definitely.
What's the weather like up here? Is it all right? It's Welsh.
Welsh. What does that mean? What does Welsh mean? Variable.
Okay. I'll come up on a sunny week.
Check the Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Sunny, I'm going to catch your train or whatever.
Great.
So, but no, thank you very much, Mary. Always a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on stage and having a conversation and whatnot. Good luck with the rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for turning
Enjoy.
out, everyone.
Thank you.
It's very
So, I will welcome to the stage, Andrew. Just head whichever wish you are. I think it's water, but it might be vodka. I don't know. It might be vodka. Helen? Max? Dan? I think there only seems to be 3 microphones on there, so you may have to share. So I'll work my way along the panel, and if you just give a quick introduction to yourself and what you're doing on stage, basically. I want to learn stuff. So Andrew,
Yes.
once you finish pouring your water, or vodka, I think it's vodka.
Wet my whistle.
Yes,
Wonder Woman's turn.
yes. So what are you doing here? What do you do?
Well, you invited me. I'm the producer-director of the Dan Dare audio adventures. And also, in the past, for company B7 Media, we've been doing other cult classics like Blake 7, Martian Chronicles, Ray Bradbury from BBC, and also Isaac Asimov's I, Robot. So we like our sci-fi.
Have you always liked sci-fi, or is this something you came to love when you became involved in making?
No, I've always been a fan of space and science fiction, and in my youth I used to enjoy the likes of Doctor Who and Jerry Anderson's Thunderbirds, and I just love the imagination and all that side of stuff. Yeah, no, definitely.
Helen, what's your involvement in this world of...
I'm relatively new to B7 as one of their producers, so I made the new trailer for Dan Dare, and I'm working on a series of audiobook anthologies and some, what would you call them?
What would I call them?
I think there's some theatre collaborations for audio.
Yeah.
Lots of other bits and pieces. Yeah, just anything Andrew throws at me, really. Which is quite a lot.
I was going to say, does that happen a lot? Is it like...
Yeah, you should see my inbox.
It's called the art of delegation. It's brilliant. It's an art I've been learning and relishing and enjoying. But so Helen's across our new audiobook range, which is, as she says, a series of Victorian anthologies. We've got an arrangement with Sci-Fi London, does the International Science Fiction and Fantasy Festival in London each year. And we're doing a series of, curating a series of science fiction stories, both classic and also new. And we've got a few other exciting things coming up as well.
So, Dan?
I've known Andrew, I think, since I was 17. Indeed. And he asked me to come on board to produce a series of web films to promote the new Dan Dare. So that's what we did. I mean, I've been a fan since I was a kid, so it was a bit of a labour of love for me.
Yeah, I didn't mention that part. I was a fan since I was 3.5, and I have actual audio evidence of this because my grandfather interviewed me on a little reel-to-reel when I was 3.5 and asked me what my favourite TV series were, and I said, Blake 7, Star Trek and Flash Gordon, and I was 3.
Well, there is evidence.
So yeah, it goes back a
the
little
whole
bit.
stand-up and record thing. So, Max?
I'm the newest addition, I guess, to the B7 roster. I'm doing a co-production with Andrew with B7 for a new science fiction audio drama called Dilation.
Which we have a trailer. So first of all, we were going to play a little mini documentary which Dan produced, all about Dan Dare, so you can learn a little bit what you don't know about Dan Dare and the history of bringing it up to date with the audio adventures. Should we play that?
This is your work.
It is indeed, yep.
Fantastic. Good. We can play that one, the video play.
Doctor, one icon of British science fiction, shone out beyond the stars. On the 14th of April 1950, an exciting new comic for boys was launched. With its full-colour cover art and tabloid style, The Eagle was something new.
If you talk to people of that generation, the 1950s generation, they remember clearly running down to their local newsagents to buy the original Eagle.
Filled with a mixture of weekly comic strips and features, it was launched as an alternative to the American horror comics with their gruesome depictions of death. Headlining on the Eagle's cover, Dan Dare starred in exciting space adventures, co-created by the Reverend Marcus Morris and the renowned illustrator Frank Hampson. Everything about the world of Dan Dare was meticulously planned and designed by Hampson and his team. From the rocket ships to the spacesuits, ray guns and exotic alien worlds. They also created Dan Dare's archenemy, the evil Mekon, supreme ruler and chief scientist of the fiercely logical Trees of Venus. The Mekon proved to be a relentless and dangerous foe throughout Dan's adventures, influencing science fiction writers for decades to come. All of these elements made Dan Dare and the Eagle essential reading.
The characters themselves, Dan Dare, Digby, his Batman, Professor Peabody, Sir Hubert Guest, and various other characters that would pop up on occasion, and of course the villainous Mekon, became a sort of family that the Eagle audience grew to know and love.
But Dan Dare didn't just conquer the comic book world. In the 1950s, you could buy all kinds of merchandise: toy spaceship, rocket gun, die-cast figures, and even a watch. But most famously, Dan Dare was a radio star.
The Radio Luxembourg broadcast a weekly serial featuring the character, of which only 2 episodes remained. It was recorded on wax discs and is lost.
Meanwhile, at the Eagle, the sudden departure of Frank Hampson required the search for a new lead artist. The editors turned to one of the country's most respected comic book illustrators, Frank Bellamy.
Artist Frank Bellamy, who's better known for his work on Thunderbirds in TV21, totally revamped the character for the first time. He worked on Dan Dare for about a year in the early 60s.
After Frank Bellamy left, the strip was continued by members of Frank Hampson's original team. The new stories were not without innovation, taking Dan through time aboard the Tempest Frigate, battling new adversaries including the villainous Zell. Losing the coveted front cover, relegated to the inside pages, the strip's days were numbered. In 1969, Dan Dare retired from active duty to become the Space Fleet controller. This brought his adventures and the strip to an end. However, the appeal of the character endured. And in 1977, Dan Dare was dramatically reimagined for a new generation in the pages of 2000 AD, this time controversially presented as a punk Dirty Harry type character. Initially drawn by the Italian artist Massimo Bellardinelli, and then later by Dave Gibbons, better known for his work on the seminal graphic novel Watchmen.
Dan Dare came to an abrupt end in 2000 AD, partly I suspect because there was a plan for a Dan Dare TV series, initially scripted by Dick Clements and Ian Franick, better known for The Likely Lads, but was also scripted by Phil Redden, who created Grange Hill and Brookside, and also involved a number of artists on concept work for the project who worked on 2000 AD.
Renewed interest in the character saw the revived Eagle introduce a new Dan Dare, grandson of the original for the Star Wars generation. Along for the ride were some new friends and old enemies. Dan next returned to the airways in a 4-part Radio 4 dramatisation of Voyage to Venus, starring Mick Ford. Then in 2007, Virgin Comics miniseries by Garth Ennis and Gary Erskine updated the characters and stories in surprising new ways for a post-9/11 world. While all these revivals were short-lived, Frank Hampson's original Dan Dare has lived on in the pages of the fanzine Spaceship Away.
They've created all new adventures featuring the original Dan Dare and his team in the style of the original comics, with a lot of reverence for the original source material.
While a second live-action television show faltered during the planning stages, an animated series finally premiered in 2002.
It was done with the special effects company that also worked on Babylon 5 originally, and has had an incredible success. Not in the UK where it wasn't very well broadcast, but has a strong following in South America and other places where it has been sold in. Shows you just how adaptable the characters of Dan Dare are.
And now, 65 years since first appearing in the Eagle, Dan Dare's back in a bold new series of audio adventures inspired by the classic Frank Hampson strips and starring Ed Stoppard as Colonel Dan Dare. So strap yourself in and prepare to blast off once again with the pilot of the future.
Like it.
Where do you start with putting audio adventures together? Because seeing a lot of the revivals of Dan Dare over the years, and then you've got the audio adventures. Where on earth do you begin?
Well, I mean, my father was to blame in a way because he introduced me to the original Eagle comics, and I just loved the boldness and the visuals of Frank Hampson's artwork and the subsequent artists, and it was. When I was at the BBC, in BBC Radio, I knew one of the veteran producer-directors there, a guy called Glenn Dearman, who did do a Dan Dare dramatisation. It's the only one the BBC did. The original ones were back in the 1950s with Radio Luxembourg, Dan's documentary cover. And I knew my Dan Dare, and I very nearly, had it been recommissioned, I was going to be one of the writers on the second series. So I'd sort of harboured for 25 years a desire to actually do it, and not being disingenuous to what Glenn did, I wanted to do it differently. I wanted it to be an audio movie and really bring those comics alive. I found some of what the Meekum, for example, in season 1 sounded like he was speaking on a helium. And so when we had done the reboot for audio for Blake 7, and we'd done some other sci-fi classics like Martian Chronicles and Die Rebel. And the rights owners loved what we did. And so when we approached them and said we'd love to have an opportunity to bring Dan Dare back for radio, they let us run with it. And I think it was an example of great alchemy. We had a fantastic cast led by Ed Stoppard as Dan Dare. And whilst it's a modern telling, it still retains the essence of what the magic of the original comic strips. And certainly the response we've been having, both in terms of when we released the audio dramas and it's currently airing on BBC Radio 4 Extra. The first 3 stories we did, in fact. The next one is tomorrow, Marooned on Mercury at 6 o'clock, and a fantastic response. It just shows that there's a huge appetite for well-told, compelling action-adventure on radio. It's not just film.
I mean, with these episodic audios, what's the running time of those?
It varies. I mean, typically, we've done 6 stories, and we wrote them in what we call a sort of 4-act format. So they're sort of 15-minute installments, but the episode, the stories as a whole are about an hour and a quarter. But yeah, they have very much inspired. I used to love, as a kid, watching the Saturday morning serials. I mean, if you think of Steven Spielberg and how he took Indiana Jones, the influence of that was the 1930s, 40s classic serials, Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. And so that was very much our inspiration, our template for doing this, was the well-conceived characters, a real, very crisp dialogue, but a real pace, a real rhythm to it that So you get on that roller coaster of an adventure and you don't want to get off.
So looking at the film that you put together there, good work by the way, very good. Obviously comics are very visual, obviously because that's what they are. So what is the most difficult thing about transferring something that is visual over to just audio?
Well, I mean, obviously my background is film. I mean, the narrative of film is that, you can convey a look or a plot development with a visual, whereas with audio you've got to do it through sound design and spoken word. And but you also want to do it in a way that it doesn't get in the way of the story, and you don't have it exposition heavy. And we're fortunate we've got a fantastic team of writers that both know their sci-fi but know their drama. And with everything, it always starts with a script. And with Dan Dare, as with all our productions, we spend a lot of time in developing those scripts to make them as tight as possible. And then when we're in the studio recording them, you're painting the pictures in your mind. So if we do our job properly, then it's going to stimulate your imagination visually from what we've done with sound design and so forth.
And the sort of setup for the recording studio, is it a case, we've all watched behind the scenes for some of the Pixar films, for example, where it's Tom Hanks and a mic doing several different takes of a line of dialogue. Is it a similar type setup?
Yeah, I mean, animation, they record each character separately. We always try with radio that we have a large studio. We record in fact, the studios which used to recorded The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. In fact, the narrator, who also plays Digby in our series, Jeff McGibbon, was the original Floor Prefect, radio Floor Prefect. So in the studio, yes, we have all the actors for a scene in the studio together. We try to go for much more naturalistic, so it's the physicalization of the performance. Even though it's just the voice, it's important that the actual performance itself is physicalized, because it affects how the voice sounds, and it sells you. If they're being throttled, literally get the actors to throttle each other, but nearly. Yeah, so we record it scene by scene. Sometimes it's various takes. We can go back and just do line pickups and so forth, but it's very fast. So, in a given day in a studio, we will be recording between 40 and 45 minutes of finished drama. And unlike the old days, when radio started out, you'd be recording it, we'd be playing in the music, you'd be doing the spot effects and whatever, actually as you're recording. Now, we just do the performance, we do the actual spoken performance, and then we do everything else in post-production.
We also there's more videos than that which we did, and one of them actually will show some behind the scenes in the studio. So there's at least, I think, 2 little scenes with Ed Stoppard.
If you go to dandareaudio.com, there's a whole load of mini documentaries which Dan also did, and one of them we've called Widescreen Audio, because we've got a bit of a rep for doing cinematic audio.
So you mentioned Andrew would throw things, not literally throw things at you, because that would be wrong and you could punch him for it, but what's the trickiest thing that he's given to you, Helen, and then how have you dealt with it?
I wasn't involved in the production of Dan Dare, but I made the trailer for it, audio trailer. So Dan has already made some, they're more teaser trailers, but Andrew wanted something more sort of condensed and an overview. So I make radio trails that promote the BBC's television dramas. And what usually happens is I get the programme, don't worry, it's going somewhere this. I get the programme, I watch it, make a note of the key lines that would go into the trail. And what normally happens is, I've been doing it 5 or 6 years now, I will have maybe half a page of possible clips that I know will tell the story, and I can get all that into 45 seconds. I started working on Dan Dare, and 4 pages later of good clips, I'm talking to Andrew and just saying, I've got too much, it's all great, and this comes back to the writing, because everything has been taken and analysed and considered for use on radio, which means every line of dialogue is perfect on its own as a clip for a track. Got there in the end though. So that was my challenge. So I had to plough through all of those and actually get down 5 or 6 pages worth of great clips into a short trail.
So how did you manage to get that down?
Oh,
and how long did it take?
Yeah.
Lots of drafts, lots of pulling your hair out.
Andrew likes to think he's hard to work with, but he's not that hard when you've gone back and forth on a trail for the BBC. multiple times, 15 to 20 times, about feedback and send a new version. I think we did 5 or 6, something like that, yeah.
Is there a pressure, I suppose there's a pressure for any project that you're putting together, it's pretty much a question for all of you, but Down There is a huge name. We've seen from that video clip, 1950, Hot Top, still running. I thought Down There went away, but Down There didn't went away, came back, went away, so it's always been around. Is there an added pressure because it's Down There?
I think when you're dealing with any either piece of literature or dealing with an iconic character that has a fan base, and people have a very set view and love for that, and it's almost their view is often trapped in that particular time when they were introduced to that character already. So, for example, the original fans of the Eagle comics in the 1950s and 60s have a very set view of the character, and if you deliver something that doesn't fit that view, they let you know. And I think so for us, because Dan Dare as a character has evolved, you know, over the decades from the original Eagle in the 50s and 60s to 2000 AD in the 1970s, and then again when it was reimagined in the 80s. So we wanted to acknowledge the character and the heritage of that character, but we also wanted to make it relevant for today. And I think the tribute to the team, and it is about the team, it's about the writers, it's the actors, post-production, Helen and Dan and everyone else. The response has been phenomenal, and people have gone, I love, you know, I've still got my original Eagle comics, but I love what you've done in bringing it alive for audio, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day.
You don't want to end up on the sort of Last Jedi sort of fan forum type thing with
One thing one of my first things I thought of was that although my personal love and connection is to the Frank Hampson scripts with the 1980s, which is, I mean, some of the actual annuals that appear there, I dug out the stories, they were my annuals, you know, which I dug out. I was very insistent that every single iteration was going to have a treatment, so that this was, although the majority of the inspiration is coming from the original Frank Hampson, the documentary was to show literally the whole history of Dan Dare, so nobody was going to feel left out, so that it would give an overview of how the character has changed, which is obviously then feeds into how it has, you know, changed when it's been done by B7. So, but it was very important to make sure that nobody felt that their Dan Dare wasn't ignored. Yeah.
I'd also tried to distill, you know, 50 odd years, 60 years of Dan Dare history into a 7-minute documentary. It's not easy, so there was no room for indulgence.
And also I find, I mean, I'm familiar with Dan Dare, but I didn't know the full history. I think that film brought me up to speed, so I know enough that I could then jump in and listen to these audio adventures and go, right, I know where I'm headed, rather than some sort of, you know, let's watch.
It was designed to contextualise and to say that Dan Dare has been reinvented already several times.
So it wasn't unusual.
No.
Has anybody got any Dan Dare questions or any Blake 7 questions? I think Bob's probably got Blake 7 questions. Any questions at all? Yeah, not general knowledge or whatever, because that's kind of crazy, but Bob's got to run over the mic so you can hear him.
How do you go about, I mean, we've seen kind of what's gone on in, you know, what you've shown, but how do you go about kind of casting the voices for these? Do you have an idea in your own mind of how each of the characters will sound, and you're looking for someone like that, or?
I had a very clear idea of how I didn't want them to sound. The casting process is often quite an organic process, so once you've got the scripts, you then do a character breakdown, and I have a casting director I've worked with quite a bit, both on our film work and on our audio work, and then we circulate that casting briefing to agents, and they come forward with suggestions. Certainly with some of the characters, I had a very clear idea of other actors I've worked with in the past who I wanted to work with again. So for instance in Operation Saturn, which is the 5th episode, the actor who plays Blasco is an actor called Jonathan Rhodes. When we were writing Blasco, I always had Jonathan in mind. But you know, things like the Mekon, for example, that was an incredibly difficult character to actually cast, because we didn't want it to be pantomime, we didn't want it to be a pastiche, so it needed to be a real performance, but it had to have yes, he's a thoroughly evil character, but there's another side to the character. And we wanted it to actually be, and in Radharari, who I wasn't that familiar with until his agent came forward, and he just was being brilliant. Hader Reed as Professor Peabody. Originally I was still thinking we would go down the sort of English Rose route, and then someone introduced me to Hader, and she has, I mean, everyone will probably know her from Poldark for playing Elizabeth, and she has a very kind of English cut voice, but she's actually Icelandic. Her natural English speaking voice has this lovely Scandinavian lilt, and there's an international space fleet, so that Peabody doesn't necessarily have to be typically British, and it just added a different texture and a different flavour. And with audio, you have to make sure the voices are distinctive, because you haven't got the visual reference, you've only got the audio.
Excellent.
So you've got a table downstairs, really?
We do, yes.
What wonderful goodies have you brought that people can visit?
We brought along the Dan Dare box sets. So what's airing on Radio 4 Extra at the moment, they've split each episode into two parts. These are the unedited versions. There's various Blake 7 box sets, so there's lots of goodies. But we'd also like to just quickly announce one of our new audio dramas, which comes out at the end of October, called Dilation, which is an original sci-fi thriller written by Max. And we've cut, in fact, another one of Helen's trailers. It's just cut. So if you want to quickly play the Dilation trailer.
Calling Eagle, this is Dove. Where are you, Tom?
It doesn't matter how good you are at running away.
There's 40 years between these photos. Nothing's changed.
Your past still catches up with you.
What's wrong with you? Dilation lag. Bit like jet lag.
Where have you been hiding for the last 20 years?
Step backwards before you jump forward.
Dad said that she'd arrive as if by magic and tell us wondrous stories of where she'd been.
Dilation.
We're being followed. Check out the back.
An original science fiction drama.
Look! It's full of light!
What the hell kind of world is this?
A Parsec production in association with B7 Media. Coming soon.
I don't call Helen our trailer queen for nothing. She's very good at it.
You okay with that title?
Just don't take that.
So are you down here for the rest of the afternoon?
We are here. Yes, we're here for the rest of the afternoon. In fact, some of us are around tomorrow as well.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to pop down and see what goodies you've got.
Excellent
stuff. So everybody else should pop down too. Any final questions before? Oh, one down there.
Will there be a sequel to iRobot?
Unfortunately, not. We wanted to do it. The BBC wanted to do it, but the Asimov estate have just done a deal with Apple TV, and they cleaned up all the rights. So unfortunately, we couldn't do a follow-on. Did you enjoy iRobot?
I did, but the ending part I couldn't understand properly, because I know that the robots was angry and things like that, and killing. But then they turned good, and we just don't know what happened after that.
Well, iRobot was part of a chronology, so there's 3 other books that should have followed. Caves of Steel would have been the next one we would have done. But whilst it was hugely successful, the Asimov estate at the moment, it's not to say we won't ever be able to do it, but at the moment they are very much wrapped up in TV and film rights.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I shall let you get back downstairs so you can show off the audio adventures and stuff. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Helen and Max. Thank you. There's like a walkway and everything. Follow me. Like a maze. Seats and everything. And we'll Philip. Do you prefer Philip or Phil? You prefer both, so Philip. Do both.
Make it cosy. Where are we?
You can choose and then I'll take the spare one.
That's a neat. Oh shit. Sorry. Stupid. Bang my knee on that thing. Stupid.
So anyway, you went to Real. Let's talk about Real.
See that? It's quite funny, isn't it?
Look behind you. Look behind you, Norman.
Hey.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Still got the hat.
The hat works, doesn't it? That works. Perhaps I should get one like that. No, I'm old.
So we'll move on from Real.
72 in October. Halloween. 72.
Any birthday plans, or do you not tend to?
No, you don't.
I don't bother mine now.
That. I don't do Christmas either.
I don't blame you.
I just give my daughters cash. Don't do cards and all that. I just think seen enough, and I've seen enough Christmases.
If you have a party, we'll all come.
Yeah, you won't be invited.
Well, if you have a party, we will all stand on the road and just look through the window and pretend.
I won't ever pretend.
Look through the window with black behind us, just there.
Yeah. What if we all just stand out and say we have a party and it's like within the same postcode as you, and then we just tell everybody it's Norman's party?
It's getting weird now.
It is getting a bit weird. You started it, I'll buy you to go to his party, to be honest.
Oh Christ, that's dedication, isn't it? Can you imagine him being on the train?
Can you imagine if it's like had a big diet coke or something?
God, imagine
you go, do you know what, I need to go to how easy is it to go to the bathroom? Not in that thing, obviously, that'd be weird, but to remove the costume and go do something.
It's got a flop.
You're not going to fit in a cubicle with that, are you really? No. It's not happening. So yeah, we've got a nice little...
I'm not even going to start talking about that.
If the party got weird, then that conversation is hide into nothing.
Because you start on the Wii and stuff. I've just had a Wii and now I'm starting to build up for my next one.
Oh, I'll move back. I'll put my feet on the chair, just in case. So
That's about it then, isn't it?
That's it, isn't it? Thank you very much for coming. That was very good. If nobody's any questions, let's run. So,
what do you want to say?
Exactly, what do you want to say?
How many? 2, 4, I'm going to say, what's her name sitting next to me? She said she had 5 people or 6 people. And so I'll just say to her, well, I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
One of them's mine, Norman.
16,
one of them.
18. Has anyone come to see him?
Don't count my person.
Has anyone come to see?
I've come to see.
Yeah, I got 2 people to see.
5.
Oh, how many? Did someone
5, no, 5.
They're only people I've been nice to during the day, so they, they're just...
I only had one person for my photo shoot.
One person?
Yeah.
I didn't have any people. No one wants to be photographing me, Norman, so...
No, that's true.
I had to.
What?
Photos. I met Norman many years ago at a Birmingham convention. I have his autograph.
I see.
Someone...
I think I the photograph, I was the only photograph.
There's a man,
medal.
It was a good picture, wasn't it? All white background and we're about the same height, and it was nice picture.
Bookends. Yeah. I wish I hadn't said that now.
Yeah,
the party thing went weird. Bookends were
I don't know, I just felt like saying just something random.
This wasn't funny, was it?
So what do you two want to talk about? That's the thing, isn't it?
Someone wants to ask a question.
I don't mind.
I'd jabber away about anything all day.
Not Real though, because I asked about Real. I just got swept.
Real.
You didn't mention Real. You went to Real.
Oh, Real. We filmed a thing. Real. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Better Than Life episode. Yeah. On the beach. You remember that? That was Real. That's it, really. Yeah, I remember coming there and just thinking, this is wonderful. I've always loved Wales. And Aberystwyth University, played there a few times doing stand-up in the 90s and stuff, and always loved it. And Wales has always been good to me. All the audience has always been great. Fantastic. I've always liked Wales. And I won't... Jimmy Carr does jokes against Wales, doesn't he? On 8 out of 10 cats and stuff. It's quite funny, but... great people. Tom Jones. Well, except when he killed that in his that song. Where he did, what's that? My. Delilah. He killed her, didn't he? He felt the knife in his hand. And he'd obviously gone round there to bloody kill her then. I mean, he took the knife, he felt it in his hand. He took the knife to go around and kill her because she'd done the dirty on him.
That's crazy.
So he killed her. No, I don't know whereabouts.
Aberystwyth, I think.
Was it Aberystwyth?
Might have been Aberystwyth or
Was it a photo shoot or something?
Which part of Wales is known for people doing random stuff with knives
This
and they don't
room,
realise?
well, hopefully not with
Is it
knives.
here? Right.
This is random.
Fran did know Wales is knife murder point. Is it?
I hope not, because
thought
we're
you-
here.
What you were saying?
Newport. I think it'd be near
It's
enough
Newport,
Newport because there were lots of suicides there, weren't there, at one stage with young people? Wasn't it?
This is getting gloomy now.
Yeah.
Tune this up. Let's
It's
talk
mainly
about
men
cars.
that kill themselves. Men. You know why? Because women are so great. They're much better than men, and a lot of men know that. And they're the men that go, yeah, I could never be like her.
Yeah, but we could have a gender reassignment. Norman, you could have a gender reassignment if you ever felt that you weren't as good as a man.
I think I am a man and a woman.
Combined?
Yeah, I am a man.
I think your female side is
Definitely.
That's
yeah.
what gives you your-
it definitely got a female side.
It's an attraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can get one breast.
What?
You can get one breast on one side.
Yeah, so you'd
Oh, it's
feel
just a
alright.
bit stupid now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a bit stupid.
It's not. It's bilaterally uneven, isn't it?
The ones I've got, I'm happy with those.
Can we see them?
No, if you get an autograph downstairs, you
Oh,
can
right,
absolutely,
okay.
it's the new selfie.
I have to say, I've been. This is my first ever
He's
convention.
never done one before.
I've never. This is my first
We're not going to
convention.
scare him off with it.
I didn't know. They said bring
He's
lots of
really dressed up
photographs.
for it. I mean, he's made a bloody good effort, hasn't he? It's
Do you like-
fantastic. Look what he's
What
got.
do you think?
He's-
Do you think? Good.
That's good.
And he's.
But Norman's more
He's-
casual. He
he's
doesn't
only-
need to because everyone knows Norman.
But
He's
you
not to
know, you're only 25, so
show off a bit.
you've got a
Yeah.
long way to go. You know.
25.
He's not.
24.
So you brought lots of photos. You've sold some photos. You sold some autographs, haven't you?
Yeah, done all right.
How many autographs have you sold on your
Don't know.
photos?
Don't.
You know.
What today?
Yeah,
I
today.
don't know. I don't
You don't know?
End
He's
of
so
the
modest.
day, I just count up the money and go, Christ, it wasn't worth it, was it? You know what I mean? But I'll worry about that on the train back, you know, on the train back. No, I do enjoy the days. They're quite long, aren't they? Because you're sitting there talking to people all
Yeah.
day.
That's part of the fun, isn't it? That's the main thing. Is talking to
And
people.
I'm quite a gregarious person anyway. So
Outgoing.
I talk to people on the tube in London. That's unheard of, you know. It's because most people just sit there looking. It's stupid. While you're alive, you should talk, shouldn't to other people.
Do they want to hear stories about Red Dwarf, do you think? Do you want to hear tales of what goes on behind the scenes and all of that?
Well, I talk about more things than that. I mean, I
Well, obviously.
I like sport.
You're a
I
man
like
of the world.
Music.
Yeah. Music, what music do you like?
Give him the bloody mic. Give him the mic. Yeah, but
Norman is a big music fan. He loves music. I would put him down as a classical kind of guy.
No, what Craig says to me, I try to get down with the kids.
Yeah.
And it's bollocks. I just happen to like music. And there's a guy who does signings, he's in his 80s, and I just think, Christ, I hope I don't become you when I'm 80. He said, I stopped listening to music after the Beatles had broken up and Frank Sinatra.
He's missed so much, hasn't
And
he?
you just think, what a stupid thing to say. There was much better music than that around, you know. Frank was all right, it's not my cup of tea.
He did it his way, didn't he?
He did it his way.
New York.
Beatles, you know, I was more of a Stones person. I prefer the Stones.
Stones.
And Spencer Davis, I was a big fan of as well.
Spencer Davis.
Steve Winwood, great voice, lovely, great voice.
My sister spilt coffee all over him.
On purpose.
Oh, that's
No,
interesting.
she was an extra in one of his music videos, and she was playing the waitress, and she spilled coffee on him. Stevie
That's an
Winwood.
interesting story, isn't it?
It wasn't hot coffee, it was stage.
I think it was
make it.
Could have maimed him, could have killed him.
warm coffee. He apparently is very gracious about it.
Good for him, that's good to hear, isn't it? Didn't punch her like Jim Davidson would have punched her.
Would he?
Would he have
I
punched?
reckon, yeah.
That's not good. It's not good at all. So who's got a Red Dwarf question? Anybody got a Red Dwarf question or a question about amazing suits?
There's a story, I don't know where we were. Sorry, I'm looking at my Timberland watch. Got a Timberland
It's like,
watch.
oh, get me out of here.
I've got a Timberland rucksack as well, leather one. I'm Timberland mad, I love their stuff. They do some good stuff, Timberland. I'm not representing.
Sponsored by
Just,
You might get a dozen shirts through the mail.
sorry?
You might get a dozen shirts through the
Yeah,
mail.
they do t-shirts, ordinary shirts, they do, all the stuff's quality, good quality. Just like the Magnum Classic. Unbeatable. How can you eat any of the others?
Well, you can't look white, doesn't it?
Twisters are good, I like them. Twisters.
No, I never had a
Not as good
Twister.
as a Magnum.
You don't like a twister?
Feast get on my nerves.
Feast,
I don't
too
know.
nutty, aren't they?
Feast,
Too
yeah,
nutty.
Feast. The Magnum Classic it's not called that for nothing, is it?
What about a 99 with a flake in it?
Do you know, I bought a 99
Not bad,
the week,
not
it was
bad.
like £2.70 or something. That ain't a 99 anymore. That's a £2.69.
It never was a 99. I don't know where that whole 99 thing came from. You never paid 99. No,
Yeah, it
you
used
never
to be
paid
99p.
that.
Yeah, 99p.
You're only 25, you don't
You're
know.
just show you don't know.
No, we do. You know, we used to
I
pay
remember when
99.
an ice cream was a couple of bob and you kind of went, that's too much.
Yeah. Now you've got to chip and pin it, haven't you, to get an ice cream? You haven't got enough change in your pocket.
Mind you, those plastic notes, you know, Christ almighty.
Not far.
Don't like plastic notes. They've got little windows in them that you can have a look through and see if someone's
you
trying to
can't
steal it.
fold them or anything.
No.
And I spoke to a lady in Tesco, she was serving me, I'd only popped in for some milk and some oranges, and she said to me she'd put one in her pocket and it had slithered out, just crept out. I said, you can't, you've got to cage them. You know, put them in, well, I got my wallet out, I said, you've got to put them in there and lock them in. And she was laughing her head off, she laughed her head off, and I said, all right, see you, have a good day, and all that. We finished on, so it produced a bit of happiness in the story, but she'd lost a fiver.
Is that not more of a design flaw in the pants or whatever, though? Could be. Not necessarily
No,
a fibrous flaw.
they can slip out of your hand, they can just fly out. Sometimes the plastic thing is just, you know, you talk about Donald Trump, but, you know, to me that's, the plastic notes are far worse.
Thankfully, plastic notes don't tweet yet.
I think everyone's getting used to Trump now, aren't they?
No.
Just mute him on Twitter, it's great.
It's no good if someone kills him. Someone said, oh, someone will kill him. I said, no, if someone did that, you know what would happen, don't you? All the guns would come out in America and they'd be killing all the Texans and everybody.
You know, Trump's a real life Zaphod Beeblebrox, isn't he? Zaphod Beeblebrox, everyone thought he was the ruler of the galaxy. Turns out he's just there to distract people from all the real stuff that's going on. It's like that's what Trump's there for, is to make us all angry, so we're all distracted, while the people in the background just carry on with stuff, is my theory.
With their plastic notes and things to annoy us.
Well, let's talk about Conservatives.
Oh, it's gone very political now. Are we here to escape from all of that?
Osborne and all the money, you know, they just want the money, don't they? It's just completely money and ego, isn't it? And yet it's supposed to be to help all the people from struggling, you know, that's struggling, which a lot of people are. And I get really cross when they get those adverts and it has a little boy going to get water, walking all those miles to get water, or someone that's ill, and they're filming some kid with flies on his eyes and like that, you know, and you just send £3 a month. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to do that at all. That should come from the rich people like Paul McCartney and Branson. You know, they just want millions in money's causes.
I give you the next Prime Minister of this Britain. Great Britain. Norman, they're all badges for Norman, aren't they?
No, I couldn't be. I'm not clever enough
That's
to
the
do
thing,
that.
they say the person who wants to be in charge, on no account should you let them be in charge. It's the person who doesn't want to be in charge
Put
who's
him in charge.
going to do the best job, isn't he?
Just when you win, don't have a party. In fact, you wouldn't have a party, would you? You'd have to stand on your own, because otherwise you'd be a member of a party.
I do stand up for Labour. We do this thing, we go around the country doing gigs, and I do stand up there. But sometimes doing that, I just feel, you know, Christ, this is I just think it's just so easy. The world could be a lovely place if you just shared out what we've got, and everyone could be happy. You know, this wealth thing. Richard Branson sued the NHS. He sued them. The bastard.
Yep.
Horrible man.
So what lifts your spirits then? What
Nothing.
Nothing.
I think the Albert Einstein thing, I've got on my wall, it's got, there are people, I haven't even learnt it yet, what the wording is, there are people that see the miracles in the world, and the people that don't see the miracles in the world, which one are you, sort of thing. And I do agree with that, I do see the miracles, yeah, there are lovely miracles. I mean, this place itself, just looking at the view out of my hotel window of the bay, that's a miracle, isn't it? It's wonderful.
Beautiful, yeah.
You know, and we speak, you know, we got arms and legs and brains, and it's fantastic, you know, you just think, bloody hell.
Oh, if only everybody could have those things.
Well, that's it.
A lot of people don't,
some people
don't use their brains.
They don't use them, do they?
You should.
I think, yeah, while you're on the earth, you're born, you're a baby, as you know, you don't remember much about that. I've spoken to people, I've met someone once who said they remember when they were 2, and I just think, no, that's bollocks.
Ray Bradbury
What
said
can you
he
remember?
remembered being born. Ray Bradbury.
Oh,
he did. He said he
Has
remembered
he seen the
it.
video or the sketch or whatever?
No, it's true. It was true. It was in an interview, and he said he had this memory right from the beginning of his life. He could remember being born.
Well, they say your long-term memory definitely does get clearer as you get older. I can vouch for that. I can see some things in my mum and dad when I was a little boy, and things like that all coming back, you know, being bullied and stuff. And it does get clearer and clearer. You just
Norman, were you bullied? What was
yeah,
going on
I was.
there?
Yeah, I got bullied. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did they bully you? Just
Because I looked like a little choir boy.
Right.
I had sort of blonde hair,
Yeah.
and I was the type that you wanted to.
And you were
get round the
sensitive.
neck,
Sensitive. You weren't a fighter, so that's
No,
why.
but the thing that got the fight going for me was starting to play football. I was good at football when I was 10 and 11. I thought, I'm good at this, and I went on to play football. Not only amateur football, but I played till I was 30 in the end. But that toughened me up. It did help me. Football actually helped me. So that was good from that point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, got bullied, yeah.
They say if you can survive school, you can survive quite a lot of stuff.
I believe that.
Yeah. You survived school?
I did survive school.
Congratulations.
I was a fast runner.
That was my thing. I was a good runner, yeah.
I wasn't a fighter, but I was very fast at running.
Yeah.
I like to think I invented free running and climbing up trees and straight over walls and across roofs and survived.
I wasn't fast in football, but I was always good at cross country and stuff. Good stamina, you know. So fingers crossed.
Well, I didn't like cross country. Well, it wasn't really cross country. It's round the blocks, round the house.
We went round fields.
You actually went round fields?
Yeah,
Okay.
muddy. If it'd been raining.
We had to run around the streets in this ridiculous little PE kit, and you know, I felt quite embarrassed about that with me later.
Where did you go to school then?
North London, Edgware.
Edgware, yeah.
Yeah, running around the streets.
You didn't run on the road, did you?
No, pavements.
I
used to walk mostly, and then it was a Welsh. It's always a Welsh PE master, isn't it? Welsh PE master used to come up behind you and come on then, run, come on, run, you know, yeah, all right, and he'd go past you.
Walk.
That wasn't very Welsh, was it?
No, that was the Welsh.
That was very bad.
Somewhere else for a few years.
Welsh accent. I've noticed there don't actually seem to be many Welsh. There's people from lots of other places here, aren't there?
Yeah,
They
I
come from all
haven't
over.
noticed any real Welsh. Anybody really Welsh here?
What's really Welsh?
Well,
being Welsh, you know,
having a convincing accent for a start.
Your average amount of Welsh.
Really Welsh, you know, just.
I moved here since I was 9.
That counts. That's good. You didn't pick up the accent though.
No, we've been away.
The accent's a bit wasted on you.
Anyone like Charlotte Church or something like that? Oh, did you know one day when I recorded my DVD, which is for sale for £5, I recorded it in, oh Christ, I'm going to get this wrong in a minute. Cardiff, not Cardiff, was it Cardiff or Swansea? I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was Cardiff. And I stayed at, they said we couldn't get a hotel for you, Norman. There's a boarding house, it's a really nice boarding house. So I said, oh, that's fine, I'll do me. And stayed there. And in the morning, sat down, came to breakfast, and there were pictures of Charlotte Church meeting the Queen and everything up on the wall. And I said, oh, has he got a Charlotte Church fan lives here? And she said, the lady who served me said, I'm her mother, Maria. It was Maria. I met her mum.
Oh.
And a very nice lady, and their dog and everything. And I said, oh, I like Charlotte Church. She's great. She's quite political, isn't she? She's very bright. She's good. Yeah. So that was quite a shock. They didn't tell me it was Charlotte Church's mother. So that was interesting.
It's lucky you didn't say anything.
He's got that sent him on his way.
So I hate Charlotte Church.
I hate Charlotte Church.
Which boarding house?
How was he going to talk about Charlotte Church?
Was she ever in Red Dwarf, Charlotte Church?
No, it'd be good if she was, wouldn't it?
Waste. It's a waste.
Deleted scene somewhere, probably.
There's never any pictures of. Have you noticed? It's all. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it? But I thought, oh well, I'm sitting here.
Well,
I don't mind.
This is your first convention.
I'll earn it. Next convention, they'll have a picture.
Yeah, this is your first one,
Yeah.
so take it easy.
Thanks.
One step at a time.
Right, I don't want to rush things.
So how are you finding your first convention?
Oh, it's delightful, isn't it? It's lovely. I mean, the best thing is just talking to people who are interested in, the science fiction and the fantasy, and meeting people like Norman. It's lovely. Yeah.
So what's the favourite question that you've been asked so far? Is the one that stands out above the rest?
I've just been asking people what they've particularly been enjoying here, and that gets people talking about why they're interested in being here and what they've seen, It's quite sort of quiet. People are quite shy, quite a lot of people. And, they're a bit startled when I sort of, a bit brash, and I call them over and I say, hello, what are you doing here? Welcome to our planet, and they're not sure if they want to be on my planet.
Is that what you say to them?
I do. I say
well,
that.
I don't go for
it's
that.
It's too much, isn't it?
I just
too
act
big.
like a...
But you've got the natural charm.
I'm just myself.
Yes.
I can't bear all that showbiz bullshit.
No, showbiz. Bullshit.
Hello, how are you? Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Hate it.
No.
That reminded me of Robert Llewellyn, that was. Hello.
Should I not do that then? Have I been going down the wrong path?
Quite possibly, yeah. Try.
I think I need some mentoring, is what I want from you, to be natural.
I don't know, I just go with the flow and try not to say anything outrageous that would get me into trouble.
Right, because you nearly said something about Charlotte Church.
He did say the boarding house was very nice and the mum's lovely. So
I know, he caught himself in time, didn't he? It could have gone either way.
There were no problems with Charlotte Church. We did go out together many years ago.
I was wondering about that.
I kept quiet about that in front of
Yeah.
her.
You're a gentleman.
No, I've never met her.
Was it her?
I've never met her in my life. But her mum was very nice, very nice.
Didn't go out with
Is
her
she an
mum.
only child?
The way she, yeah, probably.
The way
Judgmental.
Yeah, you can't really. Never generalise. That's something I've learned as I've got older. Never generalise.
That's quite specific though for...
Well, I'm just saying, if you think all that, like, when I'm thinking, here's a little example. You think all the people that went to Oxford and Cambridge that are in comedy and acting that you meet and they're quite, Rowan Atkinson, when I met him, I thought he was an arrogant little bastard. And I didn't like him, and quite a few are like that. But then you meet Stephen Fry, and you just think, oh, this is one of the nicest people you could ever meet, who would talk to anybody and just nice. So you can't just say, oh, they're all like that. Do you know what I mean? They're not. And even the Conservatives, there would be some Conservatives I
Quite
could
nice,
meet
some of them.
that would be nice people, surely.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was in Glastonbury, 2000 and, I don't know, early 2000s, and I was walking along, it was in the day, and I met Mark Thomas. You've heard of Mark Thomas?
Oh, he's good.
And he was saying, oh, I'll get some champagne, let's celebrate. And I said, Mark, what are you celebrating? He said, oh, a Conservative was found dead, slumped in one of the lavatories. And I said, did you know him? He went, no. I said, well, you shouldn't be celebrating his death. I said he might have kids and he might be all right. He might be, I told him off, and he did. And Mark sort of went, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he took it very well. But he died. Bloke died in the lavatory. He'd obviously taken drugs. He'd gone there, but he did have kids. Apparently, he was 50 something. I don't know. So,
Or maybe just choked on his own principles.
That's funny. I like it. I like it. Did you steal that joke?
I'm not political myself at all. Although I don't like fascists. Can I just go on record saying I don't like fascists, even the nice ones?
You are on record. Evidence of record. Any questions for these two wonderful, crazy people? He's wobbling, you can see the cosplay wobbling.
The whole thing's going up and down, yeah.
He's either laughing or he's had one too much Diet Coke and needs to go to the bathroom. I don't know which one.
Is that a pig on your back or two dogs?
They're meant to be wolves.
Wolves, yeah, that's good, yeah, I like it. And what programme is this? What show is this?
It's from a board game.
A board game, crikey. God, if there's some people playing that and you just turned up all of a sudden, knocked on the door, that'd freak them out, wouldn't it?
You say that because a good many people on the group I'm connected to, they actually go down to the workshop to surprise everybody when they play the game.
That's great, yeah, I like that, it's a nice story. Thanks for coming.
Any questions?
That's it, the time's up, half an hour goes quick.
You got one?
Okay, I just got a quick one for Philip.
That's Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think about the woman Doctor Who? You looking forward to that?
Oh God, I've had enough of that, to be honest. Like, everyone's saying, oh, I don't like it because she's a woman. And I'm like, get on with it. I just want to see the series. Well, anyway.
I'm looking forward to it. She's supposed to be great.
He's got a question for me, Norman. No, he wants to ask me.
He's just stole you.
Well, that's why I'm trying to deflect it. It's me, really. That's what we're here to
So, Philip, what was the question you were being asked?
What can I do for you?
Alright. Basically, because you worked on, obviously, the reimagining or remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which version do you personally prefer? Like the Gene Wilder version or the one with your version?
Well, I have to say that Gene Wilder was one of the most lovable people you ever see on screen, isn't he? I mean, you just fall in love with him as Willy Wonka. I do like the one that I'm in, though, and I don't think it's just, I think it's... I never read Roald Dahl when I was a kid. I read some of the adult novels when I was growing up, so I didn't have that allegiance to them in the first place. So when I was asked to do, the second movie, I was delighted, and I love it. I mean, the favourite bit is don't touch the squirrel's nuts. That's probably the best line. No, I think it's very good. I like the original as well. I mean, how can you not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Not my type of thing, really.
Because I read somewhere, Norm, that you're not a massive science fiction fan. What are your favourite types of films or shows to watch?
They sort of booed me, in a nice way, they booed me, but I said, I'm not really a sci-fi.
See, I love it. I love science fiction. I read it from when I was a little kid. I discovered the shelves of science fiction in the library. I just went through it all. I love it.
I was more Winnie the Pooh, really.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Winnie the Pooh.
That's my favourite as well, Winnie the Pooh.
It was a very memorable book.
You'd make a good Pooh.
I hope he doesn't. We're on stage. This is weird.
No, don't bring it down. No, maybe Eeyore. Maybe Eeyore. Eeyore.
Do an Eeyore. It would make a good Eeyore. What are you trying to say? What do you mean? Why would he make a good Eeyore? He would, but...
Have you seen the new one? The new Winnie with Christopher Robin?
No, I haven't seen that.
What is it, a TV?
No, it's a new movie.
A movie? Winnie the Pooh movie, is it?
It's people who like Winnie the Pooh, but I don't know what now.
What's the title of it, is it? Is it on Netflix?
That the Ewan McGregor one? Yeah.
Oh, cinema. My daughter's in a film, my young daughter, Kitty, just done a film called Caliber. And it's what are you laughing at? Caliber is bloody grim. She's done a little part in it, she's really good in it. And I've got to say, oh God.
You said it's not pictures.
And I got to say that I've watched it twice, and I'm not just saying it because Kitty's in it. It's a great film, Caliber on Netflix. Yeah, have a look at it.
What type of role does she play? What does Caliber play?
She plays this sort of cheeky young girl, and she's good at doing that. She's good at that. And but the whole thing is actually the scenery. It's a Scottish thing. These two boys go hunting. They do some hunting, and then as soon as you see that, you go, oh no, they're going to shoot a deer. I'm not going to say any more. And that's when the problem starts. As soon as he's about to shoot that deer, it all changes. And it's really good. It's quite grim and stuff, but I watched it again. I've even watched it again. And I was so pleased for her when she told me she'd got that, and it was on Netflix. And I just thought, good, Brand and Jenny and Claire, really. That's it, but now there's loads of them. And she said to me, oh, I've done that. I did that when I was 10. But she's, I don't know, it's great. I'm really pleased for her.
Did you enjoy the experience of acting?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does enjoy it. Yeah, she's funny, very funny girl. They're both funny, but Kitty's very funny. She's very funny.
I wonder where she gets that from. Norman, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you funny, Phil?
No, clearly not. No.
Would you ever like to be funny, or is it?
I long to be funny. I just never see the funny side of anything. I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror, I just cry. I should be laughing, you see, but I'm not. I'm just... I'll read the newspaper. You never have, everything is good, is it, today? It's always, no, it's all the bad stuff that's happening.
Yeah, but I think that's why music and watching comedy, I love comedy. I like watching 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, and Would I Lie to You? I quite like, well, I've seen them all now, and you just think, it comes on and you just think, oh Christ, I've seen this one. But there's some funny bits in there. What's happening now? It's time for the next one, isn't it?
Another 5 minutes.
Have you come in to see somebody speaking that isn't on this stage?
Just nod if you've come in to see Norman and Phil. Yes, they're all nodding. That's
well, should we start again from the beginning?
Start again. Rewind.
There's some young children. I better stop speaking.
Oh, they're going.
They've gone now.
No, they probably look at those bulldog kids.
They're like, he's not Star Wars.
Star Wars is the biggest attraction now, isn't it? But loads of people, if you ask them what they're fans of, it's always Star Wars.
What's your problem, mate? What's your problem?
Don't heckle the audience.
Find out what his problem is, and we go.
You see, he's a troublemaker. Look, he's looking the wrong way on purpose.
Tell.
Just to freak us out.
Bob, sorry, mate. Troublemaker. Just eject him out.
You want some trouble, mate? You looking for trouble? You come to the right place.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get you in that ring and chuck you around. Oh, those wrestlers were rubbish, weren't they?
I didn't see them.
I could tell it's the worst wrestling I've seen. I've seen a few. It's always been fake wrestling, but it just wasn't. There was bits that were really bad.
You should have shown them how it should be done.
Yeah, I was terrified of going in. I hope there's none here, because they're going to say, yeah, come in the ring, mate.
Yeah, try it.
No,
you would, but you'd kill them.
Boxing. I like boxing for real. I quite like boxing. That's quite good. I did boxing before I did football, and I definitely decided I wasn't cut out for boxing. Football was right. I like football. Got short legs. That's handy. You see a lot of footballers short legs. What is it? Your bottom's lower, so you've got a better centre of gravity. What do you got?
Centre of gravity.
Yeah, for not keeping on your feet. Look at Messi. Look at him. Oh, I was sort of nearly as good as him, sort of thing. That was crap compared to him.
Did you enjoy playing football? Well, that's the main
Loved
thing.
it, yeah, enjoy it. That's the thing, you've got to enjoy things, haven't you? You've got to try and enjoy your job as well, which I know a lot of people don't enjoy. Bus drivers don't seem very happy, do they?
The thing is, like, what looks fun about being a bus driver?
No, you can't.
You're not allowed to talk to passengers anymore. You drive the same route constantly.
Yeah.
It just looks a bit...
It's a tough gig. There's a hand up there.
Please could you reenact one of your old skits, like the intro of the show?
Can you sort of say that again, because I couldn't hear it.
Like when you're on the show, the intro of the show, you do the skits.
You know the intro to one of your shows? You do the little skits at the beginning of one.
Oh yeah, the second series they did that, didn't they? Where I came up and did a joke and then disappeared. That was good. I really enjoyed that. I was really upset that I had to leave. I didn't want to leave, but I had no choice. And I thought, oh, that's good. That's an improvement from the first series.
Is that where Hattie Hayridge took over?
Yeah, Hattie Hayridge came in after that. They promised me. They said, as we're actually talking about Red Dwarf now, they said, oh, we'll replace your character with someone completely different to yourself. Who did they get? You know, a female version of me. Because she, you know, it's always the same in it when they do that, when someone replaces a character. I think the same with Fools and Horses with the granddad. Did he die, the granddad? They got another granddad. But when they do it, they just think, they never... I know Kathy Burke went up for it, apparently. And she's so honest, that girl. She's great, she's wonderful. And she said, these are Norman's lines. That's what she said, so she didn't want to do the job.
What was one of your favourite opening skits from those? Have you got one that springs to mind?
No.
No?
There's a sexist one, isn't there, about Felicity Kendall's bottom or something? We flew around that a few times. Something, do you remember? A bit sexist, really, for Holly, but because he's a good person.
Thinks the best of everyone, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he's a good person.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
What's the old version with the cast?
I hate them all. We keep in touch. I mean, I did the last episode of Series 12, a year and a bit ago, was it? A year and a half ago? I don't know when we recorded it. Time just flies. Time goes quicker when you get older as well. It's shit.
September now. How dark.
I was glad to get out of that hot weather in London though. Oh God, it's getting on my nerves, that was. I can't wait to get my 9.5 tog out. Any time now, ready for that.
Not long now.
There was a tog in the hotel. I was happily under that. I had the heating on in the hotel last night. That cold. But London is just a humid. What was the question?
What was it like working with the cast?
Yeah, we got on well. I mean, I think that's important. It's the same with football teams and people like that. Off the pitch, in that dressing room, there should be banter. You should get on, take the mickey out of each other, healthy sort of banter, and go out. And that reflects in the game how you play as a team. And that sort of happened with Red Dwarf as well. We got on well. You know, even with Chris and Rimmer, there was a bit of like they were different. Scouser, Craig, and Chris sort of father was an officer and all that. But that played an important part in their characters. You know, they had to hate each other really, and they didn't really hate each other, but they were very different as people. You know, and that helped. But now, lots of the part of the characters, there's lots of us in that character that you see. With Craig and Chris, and I say that to Chris, he went, no, I'm nothing like Rimmer. And as Chris has got older, he's more like Rimmer than ever, he really is. He really is. He's smashing, Chris, he's great. And Danny doing Strictly, I'm going to be watching bloody Strictly now, I can't believe it. You know, things like that. Well, on Saturday night, Casualty, Strictly, wouldn't go near it with a pair of tongs or gloves on, you know, just ridiculous. Oh.
Would you like to do Strictly?
No.
Why's that? I think you're a natural mover with your low centre of gravity.
I'm a good dancer, actually. I know I shouldn't say this and stuff. I don't go, but I can. I do. You know, Theresa May. I'm the opposite to her. I've got movement. I can do movement and find it very easy to, you know, sort of fluid. Yeah, do all that, and I can do it. I know I can do it, but I don't really want to.
Does anyone want to come up onto stage and have a dance with Norman right now?
I just, you know, it's relaxing and it's also creative. It's almost like comedy of ad-libbing and stuff. It's just something inside of you that you can do, you know. Well, look at that stuff I did with Tongue Tied. You know, I was just so. If you watch the beat, I was spot on. The rhythm was spot on. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The final question at the front, yeah.
Oh, I think Danny. The first thing I remember about Danny, he had a black Jeep, and his registration number was DJJ A1. Danny John Jules A1. That's the first thing I saw. I thought, oh yes. And he's the more showbiz one. But no, he's a lovely bloke. We had a laugh. And he knew I was a comedian. And he's good at comebacks himself. He's very good at doing ad-libs and stuff like that. But we used to be really ruthless. He said the accent he said was James Brown and Richard Pryor. He sort of got that American thing. But it was very natural for him to do that. Yeah, it was a piece of cake for him, really. And that day, the banter, Craig sitting there, I'm sitting with Danny, and Danny looked at Craig and went, he's sitting on the fence, because he's mixed race. Do you get what I mean? He's not sure if he's black or white. Now, if I'd have said that, that would have been terrible, but the fact that a black man said it, I found that so hilarious. That was so funny. Yeah, probably if he said that today, we'd get hung or something. Stoned. Whipped.
All right.
Back to...
It's getting scary now, isn't it? I think we'll wrap this one up. It's going to get dangerous, isn't it?
I haven't had a good night's sleep, let's be honest with you. I watched the football, the Women's World Cup. Did anyone watch that last night? Christ, nobody? And then I watched the cricket on Channel 5, England, India. No? And 8 out of 10 cats I watched. She was quite good, wasn't it? Quite a good episode. Yeah, then I tried to go to sleep. About 7 pillows to try out. All pretty much the same. It's like they're full of, I don't know, cotton wool. Yeah, just, and then I think all I slept was about from 4 till 6, I think. A couple of hours, that's all I got in bed. Great view from the window, lovely, but not good at sleeping.
Oh, well, on that
note, yes. Big round of applause for Philip and Norman, please. Catch up with them both downstairs. We'll see what wonderful goodies they've got on their desks. Right, straight into the next panel. We have entering the stage Laurie Goody and Mel Pickup. Round of applause, please. It's Laurie Good. Did I get your name wrong, Laurie? I must apologise. It's been a long day.
It's got an E on the end, but it's superfluous E. Because the monks in the Middle Ages, they used to do very flowery writing, and he's put an E on the end of good. So when you get a name like Green, it's got an E on the end, or Brown, it's got an E on the end. That's, you know, because of the monks in the Middle Ages. Bit of useless information for you.
I don't know, I've learned something. I'm quite happy with that. I would like to learn something.
You haven't be saying now Mr. Greenie, will you? You'd be saying Mr. Green.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Mr. Brownie.
How are you both enjoying your day so far?
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's okay.
Some amazing costumes. We were just watching before, Wendy. I was just thinking, how can you see? You sat down, you've got this massive costume on. I was just wondering how you could see out of your costume.
He was 25 stone this morning.
We were wondering how he gets into a cubicle if he drinks too many Diet Cokes or whatever. But we didn't go into too much detail.
He's got his own cubicle in there, I think.
So what's, other than this costume here, what's your favourite one that you've seen so far? Spring to mind. That one. Winning by a mile.
The horse. Yeah, no, it was a centaur. Centaur?
I don't know.
I think a centaur. She made it herself. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, but some amazing costumes. I love homemade costumes because you know people have put so much effort into it. So no, I love the costumes.
You feel bad when you see somebody in a costume and like a wing falls off or something. You feel really bad for them because they spent so much time putting them together.
Yeah.
So we have sort of original Star Wars meets the Disney Star Wars. So this is it's an interesting
You versus old.
conversation.
Yeah.
I would never say verses. I think they all fit into the series.
Yeah,
I love them all,
do.
but it is interesting to have sort of both generations there. So Where on earth do we start? If anybody's got any questions, stick your hands up, because Star Wars generally generates quite a ton of questions. So just put your hand up and I'll make sure I know it's you. Is that you already? Or was he just waving? He might have been waving. No, I think he was wiping sweat off his face. So, yeah, Mel, how on earth did you become involved in The Force Awakens? It's a cool story.
Yeah, it was, to be honest, completely right place, right time. I was living in Dubai at the time with my husband, and I, back then in a previous life, was an artist. I still do a lot of art, but not as much now. When the children come, it's kind of like you tend to put everything on a back burner. And I was doing an art event in a hotel, and after the art event, we went to the after party, and one of my friends had been brought in to train the stormtroopers how to, hold their guns and shoot their weapons, because unfortunately the stormtroopers didn't know how to hold their guns. So I don't know if it was like that back in the day.
Just holding the left hand. Is that changed to the right now, I think?
Yeah, and so the guys were there, so they were with a couple of the casting guys, so they were just, and we were just, having a few drinks and, having a chat, and the guy just said, do you want to come for a secret casting? And we were like, hell yeah. So we went to a secret casting, and my husband, oh, there he is. My husband had to grow a beard, because he was always really, really clean cut, and he had to look. So first we had to send photos in. So we sent photos in, and then I got a phone call to say, right, can you not send a photo with makeup on? I want you to look as rough as you can, like you've just woken up, because you're all supposed to be scavengers and things like that. So I said, right, I can do that. So literally, like you got out of bed look, you have to do the clipboard. And then about 3 days later, they said, right, you're in, do you want to come for your costume fitting? So of course it was all very, very hush-hush. Went for costume fitting, my husband got the scavenger, and I got fitted with the creature, Athgar-Hees. So yeah, and that was it really. It was there was so many creatures, about 21 creatures, and everyone was on set all the time. But I was the only one that got any airtime, which is yay for me. But yeah.
One of the things I find fascinating is that, Laurie, when you appeared in the original Star Wars, 1976, Star Wars wasn't a thing then, was it? So you would have gone for a casting for this film that was being made by this little-known filmmaker called George Lucas. Yeah. Whereas Mel, you would have known exactly. You know, Star Wars.
It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Well, I think the only thing George Lucas had done before that was American Graffiti. I think that's the only thing of any note. So, but then I didn't know that he had done American Graffiti until afterwards. So they're all kind of unknown. Even Mark. Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, can't think of his name. Mark Hamill, I'm getting like you. Mark Hamill, I mean, he was unknown, and so, the only people, Alec Guinness, he was known, so people like that, and the other Christopher Lee.
Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness were the only names that anybody would have heard.
Keep thinking it 2 weeks now. So, so there wasn't this sort of a big star thing, it was just sort of like, so where's this film going? And of course you've got Dave Prowse, who's speaking like Long John Silver, so you really didn't know where it was going to go.
And you played more than one role as well, didn't you, in the film?
I came in as a replacement for a guy called Peter Jukes, who cried off sick, so he had the fitting for the Stormtrooper, and the agent rang me and said, look, you've got the same measurements as Peter Jukes, can you take his place? He can't make it tomorrow. And I said, okay, so I went along and watched on this film called Star Wars, and I was on that for the first week, and the second week, the same thing happened with the soaring character. The person cried off sick, so they said, go down a costume, you fit in a costume, and come back next week. So it's just about fitted, and the trousers were very loose, and I thought maybe I wouldn't get it. They said, the trousers didn't fit. They said, well, you put another pair of trousers. I had a baggy pair of trousers on, and the shirt was all kind of baggy as well, so, but as long as I got the top bit and I was okay, so I came back the second week. It's quite fortunate really when you think about it. Now I'm here, because the costume fitted.
And you were there to accept that casting
Yeah.
So a lot of it, I think, is just right place, right
Yeah,
time,
it's
and
right.
obviously then you need the talent to
Yeah.
do what you do on screen.
I mean, originally, there's actually two Athgar-Heases. There was myself, or, I mean, I'm sure if this person got the airtime, they would have been called something else. But there was like a number 2 of me. And it was actually another girl. And when we went to get our costumes fitted, so mine went on and mine was fine. And then the other girl had a larger chest area. And it went on and it didn't fit right, so they had to bandage her up to make it fit, and then they still didn't fit right, so they said, no, we can't have you in the costume because it doesn't sit right. So she was like, okay, right, what do I do now? They said, well, I tell you what, there's nothing else for you, but you can stay. So she actually stayed for the whole 2 and a bit weeks that we were filming, just to have a laugh and just stay with us. So she still got to stay even though her costume wasn't going to fit because it wasn't fair on her. So we were really cool like that. Yeah, really good like
Does
that.
she still get paid?
She still got paid as well. Yeah. So
Money
she
for
did-
nothing.
Hmm?
Money for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think every time she watches The Force Awakens, a part of us like, oh,
I know.
if only. Because I think you would, wouldn't you? You go, I was there, but well, it should be there.
There was, I don't know if you've seen in the Moss Ely's.
Cantina.
No, sorry, not Moss Ely's Cantina. Maz's Castle, sorry, Moss Ely's. Maz's Castle. If you pan around in Maz's Castle, there was a very, very split second. There's this like worm thing, gigantic worm thing with a bit of an eye, but it literally scanned round. Well, that came with us, and that was one of my friends was supposed to go in that. And every single scene, they marched this worm out, put it in situ, he got in it, and they kind of went, nah, came back. Every single, marched back out. He was with us again for 2 weeks, never even made it into his costume, because they kept on bringing it out and kind of going, it's not right, it's not right, it's not right. And then so the amount of costumes, the amount of creatures that they brought over and they didn't actually use was unbelievable. But it's just in case, all that effort, every single little bit of detail was unbelievable, you know. So yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, did you notice the opposite, Laurie? Obviously, it was like $10 million, $10 million pounds of dollars, whatever, for the original one, wasn't it? So I'm guessing they used everything they had.
Well, that picture there, you see, that's washing up gloves, and they put stuff on top of it, and it's all starting to peel off. And as a stormtrooper, you ran along, and the bits fell off, and so you had makeup chasing you all the time, and putting pins here and everywhere. So when you do run along, you're quite conscious of not running too fast, otherwise another piece will fall off, you know. So it's like that all the time. So yeah, it's looked like a cheapo film at the time. I suppose they were trying to, you know, do it within the budget, I suppose. But that's how it was.
How soon after it came out did you yourself see it, or did you attend any screenings? Or?
No, I saw it in the cinema, and when I saw that head bump, I thought that's me, because I remember bumping my head, and a lot of people have claimed it. But what happened with that was that we were holding the guns in our right hands, and I'd been to the loo. I had an upset stomach, and it was in the morning, probably about 11:30 in the morning, and we did 3 or 4 takes. I got put in shot, and I was supposed to go to the loo again, and we had the guns in our right hands, and someone said, no, you got the guns in the wrong, it's got to be in the left hand. So we put it in the left hand, and we only did the 1 shot. We went round, and I bumped my head, and no one said cut. And I thought, well, they got to go again because I bumped my head. But no one said anything, so I thought, well, maybe they're going to use one of the others. But when it came out, they got the gun in their left hand. Everyone's got the gun in their left hand. So I assumed they had to use it because they had the 1 shot. So that's why I think it's me. So, a lot of people, another guy called Martin Reed has claimed it recently. And I said, well, what happened when you bumped your head? He said, well, everyone laughed. I thought, well, if they laughed, they would have done it again because they would have realised it. So, you know, but no one said anything when I bumped my head. And it didn't hurt because I was going quite slow. I sort of scraped underneath like that. And, yeah. So, and I got a witness as well because Chris Bunn was in front of me. So there we are.
So they are quite thin plastic, those helmets. I've seen one, somebody had one at one point from, you know, a genuine one, and they weren't very thin plastic. If this one I saw was real, so you're lucky.
It wasn't thin.
Oh no, it was quite thin. The one that I saw.
It was all very fragile, yeah. The whole thing.
But yeah, it's become one of the most, not necessarily the most iconic scene in Star Wars, but it's definitely something that everybody talks about. You've seen Stormtrooper that smacks his head, and it is one of those. It makes everybody smile.
It's really cool to be able to meet the person behind the helmet who clicked the door. It's bizarre.
Feels ever since.
So what made you decide to write a song about the stormtrooper back in his head? I've heard it.
I thought I sent it here. I thought it was going to play.
It's amazing.
Well, everyone was saying it was them. You see, the thing is with the head bump, is that everyone's saying that they did it. Well, you know, about probably half a dozen people said that. And I thought, well, how can they say they've done it and they've got no proof? Yeah, I haven't got any real proof. I mean, I've got Chris Bunn was there with me, but you know, I haven't got any sort of story about the director shouting, "Who's that idiot?" You know, anything like that. So all I can tell is my story. So I wrote a song called "Who Was a Stormtrooper Banged His Head?" Who was a stormtrooper banged his head? So many claims unsubstantiated. Who was a stormtrooper bashed his brains? Nobody knows. The mystery remains. All troopers held guns in their left hands. Was this a part of George's plans? If you reverse the negative from right to left, everything shifts. Who was the stormtrooper? Who could it be? Was it George in that suit? Luke in disguise? Obi-Wan Kenobi tricking our eyes? Carrie in a hurry, breaking about. Mr. Thorpe was there, but nobody did see. Maybe the stormtrooper was me.
Oh, yay!
Thank you very much. So I wrote this song on YouTube. I've actually done a remix. No, it's in a bedroom. Some guy's got his own gear set up in the bedroom around there and did it. And so I put it on iTunes as well. I made about 10 quid, I think.
It is a very cool song. It's a couple of days ago. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I know. I sent it to the BBC. I looked at the BBC radio, because you go on the website and it gives you the head of the BBC. And I thought, I'd get some airplays, get some money out of this on the airplays. So, and I got the assistant, Helen Balders, I think her name is, or Balding or something. And she sent me back a list, and I sent it out to the producers, and they wrote back and said, it's not good enough. But yeah, I did try, the BBC, but so I just put it on YouTube.
So yeah, do a search for that, Stormtrooper who banged his head, and you'll find Laurie's YouTube channel there. That's where I found it. It's very good. That's what you're going to check out, isn't it? As soon as you get home, you're just going to check it out.
Googling it now.
Yes, and then we'll leave loads of comments, get it retweeted and stuff, and get it some airtime.
Get you an extra quid.
Exactly.
Penny to me.
Has anybody come up with any Star Wars questions, or any questions in general? No? Nope. One at the back.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you have any sort of stories about any of the sort of main actors, obviously the Daisy Ridley, anything like that, or Harrison or Carrie Fisher from back in your day?
The only thing, I mean, I told a story the other day. Alec Guinness, I worked on, but not on Star Wars. I worked with Alec Guinness on something else called 12th Night, ATV television, about 1969. And we were rehearsing, before we did the film, we were rehearsing at a church hall in St John's Wood. And I lived in Fulham, and I got up late. I had to be there at 9 o'clock. It was about 8:45. And I rushed and I got there. And as I walked in, the director said, you're late! And so I thought, what should I do? Everyone was rehearsing. He said, this guy in the corner who was making a cup of tea, because they had a little kind of kettle and milk and teapot there. And I walked out, I thought, I would go and make myself a cup of tea. You know, everyone's looking at me. And I walked over there. And this guy turned around, it was Alec. And he said, my name's Alec. He said, would you like a cup of tea? I said, oh yes please, he made me a cup of tea. So that's the only thing I could say about someone that was in Star Wars. Nice man though. Something to write it down in your diary.
What about yourself, Mel, from your experience?
For me, not really funny stories, because everyone was super professional. I think obviously Star Wars was really in the spotlight, the movie that I did. So everyone had to be on their best behaviour and obviously very, very, very professional. I did meet John. There was a scene where obviously I bump into John, and a couple of times, originally there was two of us. So there's when you're in the marketplace and I'm going up to, there's a bit where he's holding the machine, or I don't know if it's an engine. That other person was with me, and we did about 15 takes of us both walking together. But the guy's head kind of was wibbling a little bit, so they said, right, no, he needs to come off, so it's just me. So we did about another 10 takes with John was running towards me. And they changed it, because originally it was John just running past, but then they changed it to you stop and say water, and obviously I make some weird noise, which I couldn't even try, even tried. And then, but a couple of times he almost knocked me out, literally, because he was running so fast and he was literally sprinting. He almost knocked me out. So when they said cut, we had to go to like a sheltered area because it was 45-degree heat. And we take me help, and he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You okay? He was just so lovely. But not funny stories, because everyone was just super professional, you know. So and I think you have to be. You have to be in this day and age anyway.
Definitely a nice memory from your time.
Oh,
Force
amazing
Awakens.
memories, amazing.
Would you pursuing acting in other roles, or was that?
For me, I've taken a long time out because I have two very small children. So after The Force Awakens, I moved back a couple of years ago, just with my children. My husband stayed in Dubai for a while, just through his work. So it's really only the last couple of months where we've all been together as a family. So obviously being on my own with the children, and I moved back when my daughter was 3 months old. So just settling the family in and everything, and my son was only new Dubai, so it's been, you know, just spending a bit of time with family. So there could be things on the cards, you know.
You're not ruling it out.
No, not ruling it out.
What was your husband Mark's experience on The Force Awakens? Obviously, do you both go that? We were in a Star Wars movie.
Do you know what? He's more of a Star Wars geek than me. He absolutely loves it. He collects the toys and everything. He absolutely loves it. We have a Star Wars room at home. And he was just amazing. I mean, there is a video that it's not come out yet, and it's the behind the scenes. Now they've done a behind the scenes for The Force Awakens, but I think they might do something at the end. I don't know, because there were so many things that they were filming that on the behind the scenes it never got shown. And he actually got to have an interview, which was really cool. But the only thing is with my husband, it's like, oh, hang on, oh, you're right over there, about 10 miles that way. That was the only thing, so he didn't really get seen. But he did get a photo, because I know you weren't supposed to take your cameras in or your phones in, but he smuggled a phone, he smuggled a phone in and he took a photo of himself in the toilet. That's the photo there. He said he had to get a selfie in the loo. But that was about it really, but no, you still pinch yourself and kind of go, wow, we were in Star Wars. And when we were still living in Dubai, it's not such a, people love the film, but there's only one Comic-Con. So you don't realise how big it is until you come back here. And as soon as I came back, people were like, do you want to do a con? Like, what?
What's a convention?
What's a convention? And you walk to these conventions and everyone's amazing, you know. And for me, the best part of conventions is I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Love Harry Potter. And when I go to conventions and I'm on a lineup with Harry Potter, with people in Harry Potter, I'm just like, I'm going to sit next to them, please. You know. So I love it because I love meeting people and talking to people. So yeah, it's ace. I love it.
Do more of those.
I would, yeah, definitely. No.
Have either of you done the Star Wars Celebration conventions?
I wish.
Yeah. I was down to do it and they got cancelled last minute. So for health and safety reasons, we had to cut so many people. So it's sort of like, I think about 12 of us got cut. But I did want to do it. It's, the one in London, Excel, whenever that was.
That's a nice venue, actually.
Yeah, I've been there. No, not Star Wars.
So what's your take on the new Star Wars movies? Do you watch them, or do you go, do you know what, that's part of my work resume and you're busy doing other stuff?
Force Awakens I've seen. The thing is it's kind of like compared with A New Hope. I mean, New Hope had more of a storyline. I suppose the special effects kind of take over, don't they, in the more recent ones? So you get sort of more stormtroopers blowing up and all that. But so I prefer the older ones, really.
I like the new ones, but I think a lot of people who don't like the new ones, they want that same feeling that they had when they were a child watching the original ones, and because they don't quite get that, they then flip the lid and tweet crazy stuff. So. Yeah. But I think it is nice to have them back again, definitely. I don't know if I need one every 6 months or one every year or whatever, because there was something about the original trilogy where the first one came out and you loved it. And you heard they were doing the second one, you're like,
What was the years between
it was 3 years and then 3 years again between Empire and Jedi. In that time period, I remember it well. I was 9 years old when Empire came out, and the cliffhanger. It was horrible waiting 3 years to find out what was going on. You're like, Vader's lying. He can't be Luke's dad. That's not. How are they going to get Han? It was horrible, but it was great. Whereas now you go, it's one out next year. I'll find out a year after. So I tend to lose a little bit of that anticipation, but it's great to know there's more.
So the first one you saw was Empire Strikes Back?
No, first one I saw, I was 6 when I was taken to see Star Wars, and then what they did back in the day when Empire came out, they would then reissue it for Star Wars and Empire, so you watch a double bill. And then when Jedi came out, it was Star Wars and Empire Jedi, so I actually watched those 3 films twice. So 12 hours I spent in the movie theatre as a kid watching them. I had all the figures and everything, so I was a proper Star Wars geek.
No, I loved the original 3. I was brought up on the original 3 and I still watch them now with my son. But obviously when the new ones came out, my son's 5 now. And when The Force Awakens came out, I was proud to take him to the cinema to watch it. And when we actually went, it was just the cast in Abu Dhabi. We went to a special screening, but I was able to take my son with me, and yeah, he absolutely thoroughly loved it. He was very, very young then, but I love the fact that he knows that Mummy was in Star Wars, although he tells his friends don't believe him, obviously. But it's lovely the fact that he is so into Star Wars and my husband's so into Star Wars. It's something that you can enjoy as a family. And yeah, I love them. I love the whole fantasy sci-fi thing anyway, so it's just, I love them. Yeah.
Anyone come up with a question? No, there we go.
Any fun facts about the Force that aren't exactly top secret?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, speak a bit louder, sorry.
Any fun facts about the Force that you can tell us that aren't top secret?
Top secret.
We all want one.
That's another thing. It's become so.
It's very, very
secrecy
yeah.
now. And so, I mean, when I went along, you could take photographs and everything. Now, they take the phones off you and everything.
Yeah,
when you
yeah. At the gate, we had our phones taken off us and everything, and they were in like a secret lock-up in the base camp, and then we went onto set. And I remember there was somebody who was working there that had a phone with them and took a few photos, and someone found out and they literally got front marched off, and that was it. They'll never work doing like it was like an assistant, the AD kind of run and stuff. Never do that again within that kind of so it's very secretive, but they have to. There's so many internet channels now that things get leaked straight away, that they have to be really secretive if they want the fans to keep with the suspense. So
See, I find, because I do a lot of film publicity, and filmmakers will tell me stuff about their films. I don't want to tell people, because I want to preserve the joy of going and watching a film for the first time and not knowing what is going on screen. So I tend to keep. It really annoys me when people just blab and here's a picture.
Yeah.
Slap on.
See,
Bang
that's
their head
what
against the wall.
happened to me. See, because my pictures got linked onto TMZ. So there was somebody that had a watch phone. Now that's before the watch phones. Someone who lived in Abu Dhabi, and he had a watch phone, and he was taking photos with his watch. And they got leaked out literally, I think, a week after we'd stopped filming, which was really disheartening and quite, not embarrassing, but you felt like you'd done something really wrong when it wasn't you, it was someone else that done something really wrong. But you can't stop TMZ from leaking them out, but you just feel like you've done something wrong.
And you're there to make a film, right? You don't need to be distracted by, that happened, and need to concentrate, make sure that doesn't happen again. You need to concentrate on your roles, don't you?
So it was quite intense for about a week when they were trying to find out what happened, and so, but yeah, that put a bit of a dampener. But on the flip side of that, you actually know that it's me.
You're in The Force Awakens.
So it's the only kind of link I've got, because I could just say I'm that, and I wasn't that, so it's the only footage I've got to prove who I am, because we didn't get credited. So being in Abu Dhabi, the studio got the credit, not the person. So I didn't get the credit for it. If I got the credit for it, brilliant, but it was uncredited my part. So that's my proof.
You're a Lego figure, one of these pictures that keeps going down. You're in a Lego game.
I'm on a bonus round. I'm on a bonus round.
We have the Lego game at home, so...
I know, bonus round. But I would love the Lego figure. Oh my God, I'd love the Lego figure. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Has one been made, or...?
Don't know.
Not yet?
No.
Needs to be one.
You'd think so. You'd think so. Yeah.
Zara from downstairs, she was in Doctor Strange, she gave me a Lego figure of her little brunette zealot this morning. I was like, oh wow, that's going on my film geek shelf at home. So.
My son would go crazy if I was made into a Lego figure. Yeah.
We should start a campaign.
We should start.
Get Laurie to do a song. You could do a song about it.
You could do a song about it.
Who was the Lego man? What?
Let's make Lego figures.
Lego man who couldn't walk.
So what's the most popular picture that you've had signed today from your desk? Has there been an outright winner, or has it been across the board?
I've actually done one for Doctor Who, which is unusual. I don't normally bring those along, but mainly Star Wars. So people bring their own pieces that they want signed as well, whether a photograph or box or something.
I'm going to pop down later on and see the pair of you and have a catch up and whatnot. But if there are no final questions, then I shall let you both go back downstairs and mingle with many, many more Star Wars fans.
Oh yeah, come and say hello.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mel. Thank you, Laurie. Of the day. Has anybody been in any of the previous panels today? Put your hands up, or whatever. Okay. Any favourites? Other than me, obviously. But which panels have you enjoyed the most? Red Dwarf?
Apparently that was a comedy show.
Apparently there was very little Red Dwarf conversation going on, wasn't there? Anybody got any Red Dwarf questions? Nope. But it was good. What have you enjoyed? You say all of them if you want. It's weird. I kept trying to get it onto the Red Dwarf thing, but it wasn't happening, was it? Norman's like, nope, off the tracks. We need to. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, I find, sometimes with Q&A panels. Either everybody's got a question or nobody has one. And then if nobody has one, it gets quite awkward for me because I'm like, yeah, they don't want to ask anything, so it's down to me again. Only if you want to ask a question. I don't need to stun the cast. That's cool. So this is billed as a Marvel Doctor Strange panel, but I like to think of it as a Zara Tithian and Clem Soul panel. They both appeared in Doctor Strange, so if you have Doctor Strange questions, that's cool. But if you also have questions about any other films they've appeared in, that is just as cool. Because Clem, you've been in more than one Marvel.
Yes, that's right. I was in Guardians of the Galaxy as a kiln prisoner.
So what was you obviously did Guardians first. What was your experience working on Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh gosh, it was hot, exhausting, but it was, because I'm a Marvel fan as well, I was totally geeking out. I think it's funny actually, because I think when I was a kid I used to buy Marvel comics in the 1970s. They were 5p each, and we used to save up pocket money for the comic books, and somebody remarked when we were on set, he said, oh, now Marvel are paying you back. That's what I thought was really funny. Yeah.
So was it, did your agent phone you up and say,
no, it was just a lot of the stuff I do is background work, so it goes through an agency, and an agency production will have a brief, what kind of looks they want, like a cinema for a prison sort of types, and maybe even ethnicity might come into it, and physical types. There are a lot of bodybuilders in Guardians, lots of people with tattoos, and so they kind of create the atmosphere for the, what the scene is. And yeah, but it's funny because I'd just come off working on Muppets Again, I think that's what it's called. Muppets Again, we were in a Gulag prison scene, and so there was a common denominator of people. They'd obviously just thought, because it was Disney as well, they probably thought, oh, let's get these guys and put them in Guardians. So it was nice. It was nice because they did mention that, yes, some of you we've seen before, we met you before. So, yeah, there was a clue there that they would definitely saved themselves a bit casting time and brought some of us in, yeah.
That's a good sign, isn't it, when you go, we've seen you before, come here. You go, I did it right, that's cool, I'm going to be back again. So not one but 2 Marvel movies under your belt. So for Zara, this is your first Marvel movie, isn't it, Doctor Strange? I've been following your career for probably about 6-7 years, I think, back in the day of He Who Dares and The Hike and all that sort of stuff. And I remember watching the trailer before Doctor Strange came out, and I'm watching it and I'm thinking, nah, can't be it. And it was Zara in the trailer. That was cool. How cool was it when you first saw that trailer come out and you're in the trailer?
I think when the trailer first came out, we'd already been shooting scenes and production had already started. So it was interesting to find out what was going to be in the trailer from the scenes that we shot already. So it was cool. It was like, oh, there's me! Oh, there's me! But yeah, it was really cool. But really surreal as well for people to kind of go, oh, I saw you in the trailer, I saw you in Doctor Strange, whatever. And even, you mentioned The Hike and He Who Dares, which was some of the first productions I was involved with. Even now, it's still kind of rerun on like the Horror Channel and stuff, and I get messages all the time on Twitter and Facebook, oh, I saw you in The Hike. I'm like, wow, that's like 10 years old. But yeah, I've come a long way, so it's been a great journey so far.
Because The Hike was on Horror Channel in a week. It was
it?
scrolling through, I'm like, yeah, there's The Hike. So it's like, hey.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a great journey so far.
So how did you become involved in Doctor Strange? I mean, you're not just an actor, actress. Do you prefer actor or actress, or doesn't it really?
I guess.
Not bothered?
No, I'm not bothered. Whatever.
Because some people prefer one term than the other, and I've still not worked out which is the correct term to use.
Yeah, I have no preference, so either or. I think my career first started, I've done martial arts since I was 7 years old. So that's always been my first passion, and I think always will be. And I've competed around the world, and I was competing in America and was spotted at this event by some kind of local directors and producers, and they sort of approached me and said, oh, would you love to come over and be in our film? We really want you to be in there. And I was like, I just want to fight, I don't want to be in a film. I was like, yeah, okay, great opportunity. So I went over, I think we stayed there for like 6 weeks. Worked on this film. There was no action. Obviously, they spotted me competing, so I presumed there would be some kind of martial arts, or some kind of action or fight or whatever. And it was just acting. And I was very nervous. I was like, don't really know what I'm doing here, but I loved it at the same time. And then when I came back to the UK, took some acting classes, different courses, and then realised that a lot of my friends in the martial art industry are in the stunt industry. I was like, I see the connection. And then started working on some commercials, kind of short films, things like that. And then, yeah, some features. Got an agent. And then obviously the audition for Strange came up, and we didn't know it was Doctor Strange at first. They just said it's a big role, and you should really go for it, really consider it. So I did, and I got the call back. And I was like, okay, great, it's gone well. And then heard nothing. And then I had another audition, and it was for Wonder Woman. And I didn't know it was for Wonder Woman at the time. And I got the call back, and I was like, oh, brilliant. And then heard nothing. I was like, oh, well, I did my best. Sometimes auditions, you get the role, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you think you've done amazing, and you don't hear anything. And sometimes you're like, oh, that went really bad. And then you get the job, so I wasn't really sure. My husband was on his stag do, and then I got a call back for both of them. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to work on a DC film and a Marvel film. Wow. And then they were filming at the same time. So I was like, okay, do I choose DC or Marvel? So I went with Doctor Strange, and the rest is history.
I think even if you chose Wonder Woman, I don't think that would have been a bad decision. I think both films are amazing in every way. So
yeah, not at all. And a lot of my friends worked on Wonder Woman as well, so it just would have been extra cool. So I've done DC and Marvel, but I had a great time on Strange. I was on there for like 8 months. We filmed in and around London, in the studios, in LA, New York, so got to travel. And Marvel really looked after you, so it was a great experience. And the cast were amazing. Benedict, Hilda, Mads, Chiwetel. My role, I was a cast member, but I was also part of stunts, so I got to kind of train the actors with the stunt guys as well, with the main kind of stunt coordinators and fight coordinators, so that was a great experience. I got to teach Tilda how to use fans. I made mad sweat. Like, I worked him. So it was really great, and they're all fantastic. So.
What was both your experiences of Scott Derrickson, the director of Doctor Strange? Did you have much to do with him?
No, because as a background, your first course may mean the first AD or second.
It's going to be very
The
surreal.
scenes that you're showing right now, it's just after Caecilius kills the priest, and in between the takes, Scott and I would just sit down and have a chat about fights. So it was really cool on the sort of pews in the church. And that church, I think, was in Oxford. So it was an incredible location. But Scott was great to work with. I got on very well with him. I think on a production such as Marvel and Disney, I think there's only so much creative control you can have, perhaps. But I love his work, and I think, it was great to work with him. I think he might have liked to have maybe a bit more say, perhaps. I don't know. That's just my impression that I got sort of from being on the set. But I think he did a great job, and I think the visuals were amazing. So.
I think with Marvel and obviously Disney, which includes the Star Wars films where you've worked on some of those, Clive, they have a blueprint. So many films down the line that Scott couldn't have turned up and went, you know what, I'm going to do this. Because it'd be great. I know that messes the blueprint up. So.
Yeah. And even with all the fights, like every scene, all the fights, even if there's just a small bit of action or choreography, everything is set. We did a previs for everything. So it was great because I had to play Tilda in quite a lot of the previses when she did all the fights and stuff. So that was great for me. I was very busy. So everything is kind of set, and that had to be signed off, by the top people. And if there wasn't something they liked or agreed with, or if there's a certain move they didn't want, or whatever, we had to go back and reshoot the previs. So everything was kind of filmed, and just like you said, it's kind of like a blueprint. Everything is set and done, so when you turn up on set to shoot, you just follow the blueprint. That's it, and there's no change. So, very effective way of shooting, very efficient.
It's working well, not only critically, but box office-wise as well.
Yeah, they've got their formula and it works, so why change it? Yeah.
So, moving over to Climb a little bit, you worked on a solo story, but you worked on everything. Look at your filmography, it's insane. You must be geeking out inside your head if you look at the films you've been in. Yeah. Bond franchise done, well, Marvel done, Star Wars done.
Yeah. The thing is that you're working on something, so it's like sometimes you don't even think about it, and then you go, oh, that's out next month, and you've already done another, say, 5 movies down the line that aren't out. So sometimes there's some movies I've worked on that haven't even come out yet. There's one that from ages back, I just read the other day that they were going to release, called London Fields. I filmed on that in 2013 or something, and it's been I think the director was soon in production. Yeah, Johnny Depp made a guest appearance in it, but it was a Amber Heard film basically, and I believe it's coming out in September. But it'd be a very young me in that film. So this is how it is in the movie industry. It's like some films take months, years to come out. So it's like, I think last year, and then this year, I think maybe six films that I've worked on are coming out, or have come out. So yeah, you kind of don't think back, and it's only when I come to conventions and you have all those photos out on the table and you kind of look back at it and go, God, yeah. And then, of course, thanks to, fans are asking you questions and you remember things about what you did and how it was, and, so it's great. It's a great way of kind of reminding us of, and appreciating what we've done.
I suppose it could be a bit strange, the film you mentioned that you shot years ago. Somebody will see that in October, come up to you in December and go, what was happening then? You're like, I've done so many films since then, I can't remember. So it's like, I wish you gone, if you liked it. Oh, there we are. How many years ago did we used to live in Northampton? 4 years ago we lived down south in Northampton, and over a 2-year period I was in 3 films. None of them have come out yet. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, where are they? So, but you never tempted to, when people pick up films and you go, yeah, I'm in that.
What about this one? Yeah, I'm in that as well.
No,
So you've got one of those filmographies where you can do it.
I haven't done that, but I've been trying to keep it quiet in my hometown, and people are starting to pick up on the fact that they've seen me on something. Or, you know, there's two small supermarkets, I think, Spar and a Co-op. And now, in Co-op, the lady said, oh, yeah, I think I saw you on Louvre the
You've
other
got
day.
a quite unique look there,
I
haven't
know,
you?
and I
You
thought...
agree, so you're quite recognisable.
And then I said, okay, I'm in that. I do some extra work, and I'm in that one. And now, then I felt, I'm going to go to Spa now. Now the guy in Spa said, oh, somebody told me the other day, and I was like, I can't go anywhere in my town without somebody saying, oh, what are you in now? And it's like, yeah, that's not what you want from your hometown.
Well, people are going to see you in films and then go, that looks like that guy I saw in the supermarket. And they'll start to think they're losing it a little bit, I guess. I see that guy everywhere. I was going, Spectre, he was in there. But, so, you are an athlete as well as an actor. So, is your training regime when you're in a film, is it different to when you're training for a competition or sometimes it's
That's a good question.
similar?
So when I used to compete, my training regime was very tough, very strict, as well as diet. So it's different for film. You still have to kind of have a good level of fitness, and I'm talking in terms of kind of more action roles, I guess. I'm known for being physical, so you know, if I go for an audition, it's usually some kind of physical expectation there as well. So maintaining that level of fitness and look aesthetically, I think is important for my sort of career. And I like to stay fit anyway. I like to feel strong and to work out when I can. But the training is definitely different from when I used to compete. I used to train like 2-3 times a day, weight training, sparring work, whatever. But now I kind of just train for the role or maintain my level of fitness. So it's not as tough in certain ways, but then in other ways it's tougher. So for example, on Strange, when we had the prep, we had like 3 months prep. We were training every day from 8 AM till 6 PM, like solid. We had an hour lunch break, a couple of little water breaks, but like solid training every day for the 3 months. So it's quite intense. So it's important in between films to kind of make sure I can maintain that. So then when I need to jump back into a role, I can kind of be on the right level. I mean, I'm training for a role right now. I'm going to be playing the role of a soldier, so it's important that I have a physical appearance of a soldier or look strong. I think that's important, especially for female characters on screen. If they're playing a physical role, to look physical. I think that, you know, is important. Personally, anyway, you guys might disagree, but if it's a physical role and you know you see this character and she's fighting and tough and she's a soldier, whatever, then I think it's important to have muscle tone. I think it's important to be able to be fit, and I always want to portray a character that's believable, not just in the acting but in the physical sense as well. So yeah, I like to stay in the gym. Yeah.
Which you all portray those characters, back to He Who Dares, even Cannibals and Carpet Fitters, which hasn't yet come out, has it? But it's a great film, I've said it.
Yeah, that's going to be out at the end of the year. Cannibals and Carpet Fitters does exactly what it says on the tin.
Is what somebody once said to me, what's it about? And I'm like, hey, did you hear the title? It is about Cannibals and Carpet Fitters.
So I play a carpet fitter, but we have a little bit of a run-in with some cannibals, so it's very fun, very funny. Yeah, so I mean, on that film, after Doctor Strange, I had knee surgery, because unfortunately one of the stunt guys had fallen on me in a rehearsal. So, yeah, my knee was a bit of a mess, so I had to have knee surgery after. And then I had 2 films I was working on sort of whilst I was kind of in rehab and recovery. So the first day I rocked up to Cannibals and Carpet Fitters, I was still on my crutches. So James Bush is a fantastic director. I've always wanted to work with him. There's a couple of opportunities to work with him, and then schedules clashed and wasn't able to. So when I rocked up on set, I was just smiling, and James was like, it's fine, I'm going to work around it, it's absolutely fine. And he did, and he sort of catered that for me. And then the fight scene that was in the film was put towards the end of the schedule, so it allowed me a little bit more time to recover. But yeah, but being a carpet fitter, you got to be pretty fit. Yeah.
It's one of those film titles that you mention and people just go, because it is a very clever title, I love it. It's nearly as good as Dead Hooker in a Trunk, which is actually a real film as well. Just one of those titles where you will just instantly remember what it is. And James let me watch the film quite a few months back, and it was
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And you can't tell that you would have been on crutches because the fight scenes, you know, the pure Zara to...
And that, yeah, I mean, when I was on crutches, I literally couldn't walk. It was tough. But I really wanted to do the film, work with James, and really glad that he sort of allowed me the time to recover. So then when I had a fight with Lee, we could kind of hit each other, which is great.
Is that the only injury that you've sustained whilst making a movie, or is it quite prone because you do all the stunt work and stuff?
It is prone. I mean, you can pull stuff and get niggles and things like that. I mean, for my whole sort of fighting career, the only injury I really had was a broken nose and a really torn hamstring. And then as soon as, you know, you would think in that sense, I'm going to have more injuries fighting, for real. But yeah, so the stud injuries really. So I think, yeah, just my hamstring's been the worst thing. I've broken bones before. It's fine. I think I'd rather break a bone than tear a muscle or a tendon. It just heals quicker. But yeah, so my knee has been the worst injury. It's frustrating because it wasn't my fault.
I mean, it's your fault. It's one thing, isn't it? You go, oh, it's my fault. I shouldn't have done that and I've damaged myself. But if somebody else, you're like, oh, come on, how's this fair?
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, Marvel looked after me. They were amazing. They sorted out all my surgery, all my rehab, all my treatment. So, yeah, it was great. In one sense, it's a good job that I did it on that job and not on maybe a smaller production or by myself. because
then you wouldn't have the care afterwards, would you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you've worked on a lot of action films, Claire. But your first one was 47 Ronin.
Yeah.
Now, Neil said you were an artist. You're still an artist, as in an artist. Now you're a screen artist as well. How did you go from being an artist going, you know what, I'm going to be in movies? Because 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves is a big film. So how did that come about?
There was a big call out for East Asians. They basically, I think they needed like 500. And there weren't 500 essays in the whole of the UK that were in the business. So actually, it's quite an important film in terms of kind of, it brought in a lot of East Asians into the film business, and a lot of them have gone on to do stunts and or training for stunts, and they've carved themselves a career out of doing that. So I'm quite grateful for that movie. That movie was quite important for that. But in terms of nothing really, it was just something. My brother was in Casino Royale, and he had a credited role in that as Mr. Fukuta, who was one of the poker players, and you know, he just asked me he said, you got a similar look, I think you should give it a go. And I did, and that 47 Ronin was one of the first movies I worked on, and I think I worked on a Heineken commercial as background, and it was in that particular one that the director walked past and, oh, can we have you up in the front? So it was kind of like this to become like a theme, you know. Often I get picked for things, and then a director sees me and he wants to focus on me or put me in the scene, prominently in the scene, you know, to create the character, if you like, for the scene. So I just thought, yeah, this is pretty good. I'm quite enjoying this, and I just joined more agents and got more work, and now it's got to the point where I go to production, any production I go to in the UK, it's like somebody that I know I've worked with, and all by reputation, they know me, that I've worked on something, you know, whether it's the hair, makeup department, or the costumes, or some of them get really excited, you know, the costume get really excited when they see me, and you know, oh, it gets to dress me up, or whatever, so, and I just started, I just started to get more and more work and join more agencies, and yeah, it's going all right.
What's the most popular film where people talk to you? Well, tell me a story about that film, which seems to be
probably
the one in
Doctor
advance.
Strange. I was quite prominent in that scene. You see me, you know, it seems to be a scene that people remember. Or one of the Doctor Who episodes as a Clockwork Droid. Again, there was the director on that pulled me out to be featured in that. And there was a lot of single lens shots of me in that. So yeah, probably those two I'd say were the ones that people remember me for. I do get confused with my brother and James Bond often.
You were in Casino Royale, though, wasn't it?
You what?
There are people saying you were in Casino Royale.
Yeah, they think I was
Casino
Casino Royale.
Inspector.
And now my brother tells me that actually some people would stop him in the street and go, weren't you in Spectre?
Ha, that's what you want, isn't it? People stopping him thinking, oh,
Yeah, so...
that works. And so you're working on a whole bunch of stuff, or you've got a whole bunch of stuff that's waiting to come out. Don't know which one it is, but Transit 17, I seem to be waiting forever for Transit 17
Yeah,
to
so
come
I did
out.
a film called Transit 17 in Belgium, which was a low-budget production over there. I played one of the lead roles, and the locations are great in Belgium. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Belgium, but first time I'd been, and I thought it was amazing. Really great crew, the cast were great as well, and that was just before I filmed Doctor Strange, so that's a little while ago. But people always ask me, like, when is it coming out? I'm like, I don't have anything to do with that side of the production. So hopefully, I've been told that all post-production is now complete. So hopefully we can have a release date soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's a sci-fi film, so fingers crossed it, yeah, lives up to its expectations. So I'm looking forward to seeing it as well.
I think it's because of the social media, whoever's in charge of the Transit 17, pictures and stuff, they started sharing them right at the beginning.
Yeah, they're
so
like
it feels like it's been.
It feels like it's been.
Oh, come on, but it probably hasn't. They just started very early on.
Absolutely.
Building
To be fair, I'm probably a little bit victim to that, because once something comes out, then I'll share it and tag it and let everybody know about it, and then it's like, oh well, when is it coming out? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Soon.
Yeah,
it's going out soon.
Keep sharing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So and then Dark Kingdom, which we'll mention later on, is going out as well. So busy.
Just quick one on 47 Ronin. My best friend worked on 47 Ronin as well. Gary Powell was the stunt coordinator, very well known in the industry, and Vincent Wang was one of the fight choreographers, and he also worked on Doctor Strange, so there's a little connection there as well.
Claire's nodding like, yep, I know, yep. So any questions for these two wonderful people? Nope.
There was no hands there.
Left hand side first.
My question's for Zara. Like, do you feel there's a difference in portraying strong female lead, like someone who's got power and
On screen, I think it's important. I think, I think the sort of times are changing in roles like Lara Croft or Wonder Woman. Strong female roles are becoming more prominent and more accepted, more popular. But for me, I think it's important, if I'm playing a role, I want my audience to believe that I can do what I'm doing on the screen as well, and it's not just for film. So if there's a fight scene, obviously it's choreographed and whatever, but I want to be able to do those moves, to pull it off, to make it real, and to make it as raw as possible, so that when you watch the film, you believe it and you buy into it more. And that's just my personal preference. So I think it's important, absolutely, to have strong lead female roles, and then for also for the actor or for the performer to have some physical presence as well. If you have a fight scene with a male-female fight scene, for example, and the female, unless it's kind of a superhero movie where the actress has powers and magic, like in Doctor Strange or whatever, then you believe that they're going to do something. That is just awful. Yeah, shut up. No, we're joking. If you watch a male-female fight scene, usually the female will win. You'd be like, oh, but that wouldn't really happen in real life. You don't believe it. It's a good fight scene, and it will be shot amazingly well, but you wouldn't believe it, really. You think, yeah, well, whatever. So I think it's really important to be able to sell the fight scene and tell a story and to make it as believable and real as possible within the realms of film and choreography. So I think that's really important.
You both... Go.
After you?
No, after you, sir.
All right, thank you. You spoke about physically how you prepare differently from your fighting career to obviously your acting career. I was just wondering, mentally, different motivations and, you know, nervousness, stuff like that, how does that differ from your fighting to your film career?
That's a good question. I think because I used to compete not just in fighting, I used to do forms, kata, and weapons performance as well. I think having that performance in that background helps with the acting and any kind of physical stunt roles as well. I think if I just had a fighting background, purely fighting background, I think it would have been a much, much harder transition to work in film, because it is different. It's different from having a fight, if you're kickboxing or street fighting, whatever fighting you like to do, to then fight in front of camera, because it is different. The range is different. You have to kind of exaggerate things in a different way than what you would do. So a lot of times, if you're working with kind of real fighters, it's very hard to get them to adapt, because you have to kind of work them slightly different. But because of kind of the forms and more performance side of training, I think that helps. So whenever I kind of go into a role, I kind of work on those sort of the character build-up and the backgrounds, and I think that really helps me just with the confidence within the role to know how to play, or just to kind of research different kind of similar actors or similar characters in other films and things. But I still get nervous sometimes. It depends on what's kind of happening, what the role is, what the scene is. If I'm working with a massive actor, or if it's just me and I'm the only person in the scene. It's just different. But I guess it's kind of with anything when if you got a new job, for example, first day at your new job, you get a little bit anxious or a bit nervous, or first day at school. It's the same thing when you work on a new set. Once you get to kind of know everybody, you know the cast, you know the crew, you kind of feel comfortable, and then you can kind of be yourself and kind of go with it. In terms of the differences, I think I always put more pressure on myself on the acting side, because the physical side almost comes kind of second nature. But yeah, so I think I enjoy both, but for different reasons.
Brilliant, thank you.
Hope that answers your question.
You've both played roles on both sides of the coin, so to speak, goodies and baddies. So 2 questions. Which are your favourite roles that you have played, and what would be your ideal role? You know, what would be your dream role to play in any kind of film?
My dream role is any role that you get paid for. You know.
Good answer.
First and foremost. I think I don't know, playing a bad guy or a sort of sly guy or something. I played a guy in this independent movie called Ex-Shanghai who's conniving, sort of always thinking of money and stuff, and it was interesting to kind of get into the psychology of what this guy must have went through to be the way he is. So in a way, it's kind of more interesting it's more meaty, if you like, but then maybe I'm saying that maybe it's easier to play a bad guy than it is to play a good guy. I don't know, possibly I'm saying that, but I do enjoy that role, and my face often picked for things that are more to do with the bad side than the good side. So that's not how I am in real life, so I keep being told, but yeah.
I think different roles for different reasons, but I usually play a hero or a good person. So in Doctor Strange, it was great to play a baddie, so I loved it. I'd really love to play like a female Jason Bourne, or make Lara Croft my own, and that kind of strong female leads with some action. But any kind of film that has a good story. So I think it's important. It's not just all about the action, it's about the story as well. So if the story is good, the audience can kind of relate to characters, and the action is amazing, then that's my ideal film and character.
How about Jane Bond?
Jane Bond?
Jane Bond, seriously, yeah.
Not feeling the Jane, but maybe, yeah.
Any final questions? Well, I'm going to let you two go back downstairs, get behind your desks, do your thing, and then I'll be down in about a quarter of an hour to pick a photo and add it to my wonderful film wall at home. So I wish you both the very best. I'll be following your careers anyway. And thank you very much for taking to the stage and teaching us all a bit more about what goes on. Thank you very much. Go a round of applause for McArthur, please.
Just before you leave your seats, can we just have a round of applause for Stuart, because he's been doing this all day and I think he's done a great job. So a round of applause for Stuart, please.
Also, video clip. I nearly forgot about that. We have a video clip, don't we, that you sent me? We've got your show reel and the thing, the surprise. Yes. Hopefully we can find it.
We're gonna die. We're all gonna die.
Let's come back for the egg. We'll give it what it wants. Furies, as far as the eye can see, and they're heading straight towards us.
What is the best way to get to the castle?
We go through the Dark Kingdom.
The Dark Kingdom is an evil place.
No one of sane mind has ventured into that land.
Have desecrated my land, killed my people. I offer you a choice. Die where you stand, or fight to the death for your freedom.
Very well. We accept.